Good morning, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of December, 2024. This is a budget hearing for the public library with the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 10 a.m. start. My watch shows 10:09 a.m. May we have a roll call for the commencement of this budget hearing? Councilperson Ridley? Councilperson Prinzari? Councilman Bogiano? Councilman Saleh?
Here.
Councilman Solomon? Councilman Gilmore? Councilperson DeGees? Councilperson Rivera? And Council President Waterman. Okay, we have two council people present at 10:09 a.m. In addition, at the time of its preparation, notice of this meeting was disseminated on Monday, December 9th, 2024 at 5:31 p.m. to the mayor, municipal council, business administrator, corporation council, and to the local newspapers. So I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. I understand the library is prepared to make a presentation. I have submitted the council's review copies of the presentation that were submitted to me. They're in front of you. I guess whoever wished, your microphone is available there, or if you wish to speak at the podium, whatever is most advantageous to you.
Here we go. All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Hill. I am the director of the Jersey City Free Public Library, and I'll have my colleagues here with me introduce themselves.
I'm Charles Hatchett, Director of Finance at the Jersey City Free Public Library.
Shane Smith, Chief of Staff for the Jersey City Free Public Library.
Okay, so we can begin. If you wouldn't mind turning to page 2, where you will see a collage of images. So I wanted to share that just to give you a taste of the life at the Jersey City Free Public Library and across Jersey City. And I can confidently say that Jersey City has a library that it can be very proud of. We have made so many gains and increases in our services, our staffing, and the community is responding and, of course, asking for more and more of all the great things that we give. On this page, I'm especially proud. You see right in the center, the gentleman playing keyboard. That is award-winning jazz pianist Cyrus Chestnut that we hosted at the Miller branch in October, I believe it was. And I was really thrilled to be able to host him here. He's someone I've been following for many years. Okay, next page, you will see a copy of our org chart. And to the far left, that represents all of our branches and branches that will be coming online in the next couple of years. At the very bottom, you'll see Holland Gardens. We are a part of the Jersey City Housing Authority's project at Holland Garden. We'll have a full functioning branch there. And then also the number of departments within the Priscilla Gardner main library. Also, in kind of the mustard color, you'll see it's kind of a new area for us, except for the bookmobile. We are establishing an outreach department because we have a tremendous need for outreach to reach patrons who aren't able to get to our branches or just are in areas that, there's not a lot of accessibility. Turning on over to page 4. So our library's purpose, we say that our purpose in the community is to put our community first, and we do that by these 4 commitments: to offer welcoming spaces, lifelong learning opportunities, contribute to our community's well-being, and to operate as an effective, accountable organization. Next page, just kind of look back on our growth for 2024. We are at 145.5 FTEs. So we had some significant growth in staff. And again, that's bringing on some new branches this year, as well as staffing our outreach department. And we still have several vacancies that we're trying to fill as we enter 25. Our collection use, we've had a 49% increase in our ebook use. In all of 23, we had 162,000 checkouts, and to date, we are at 241,000. Our print circulation continues to increase. To date, we are approaching our pre-COVID numbers, which are just over 400,000 for the maximum number of books that have been checked out from the library. But one thing I do want to point out is we have got to get Jersey City reading. For a city this size, the number of library branches we have, the size of collection we have, we are still far behind in our print circulation. Many libraries that are the size of us are approaching 1 million plus checkouts per year. I think the most I've ever seen on our stats going 7 or 8 years back is just under 500,000. So we've got some work to do there. That's one reason that we are always promoting the library, pushing people to sign up for library cards as well. This year we brought on 3 new facilities. We have our Communipaw branch on Johnston Avenue. And also I want to mention the Central Avenue space that we have where our Learning Center has staff and they offer classes there as well. We do offer classes that are specifically for the seniors in the Senior Center there at Central Avenue. And the third space that we opened is our Creative Arts Center, which is at the corner of Jersey Avenue and 10th Street by Hamilton Park. So that space, while it's not a full functioning branch, it is a program-only space, but it is quite popular now. We are offering art classes, there are guitar classes, yoga classes there. The Pavonia branch also offers programming in that space as well. Outreach and programs. January of 23, we implemented an expectation of our branches to provide at least 3 programs a week. In 24, we're averaging at least 8 per week per location. So there's been a lot of growth in that area. Our Learning Center, which you may have heard of, we are now at 1,500 students. We have waiting lists for people still wanting to enroll. Many of those students are in our ESL classes, but we also offer classes on digital literacy and workforce development. In October, we also launched an early literacy program with PS24, and that program is specific to getting children reading on grade level by 3rd grade. We have one staff member who is dedicated to working with the school. And we're offering after-school tutoring, and we will also be offering ESL classes to the caregivers of those students starting end of January or early February. All right, we can turn on over. So 25, some of our opportunities and priorities for 25. Our salary and benefits, of course, will be increasing with our increased number of staff, but also needing to increase our investment in professional development. As we know, there is a lot of misinformation that is taking over our country, and it has always been the library's responsibility to provide good information to the public. And we really need to double down on that and making sure our staff's up to date and have the skills to guide the public in that way. Also, the role of artificial intelligence is another big one that we really need to be providing education to the community on, anywhere from our phones to our TVs. So you probably all know that any topic you talk about and you pick up your phone, you get ads for it on Facebook. So we need to have an understanding of why that's happening to us as well. Collections technology, making sure we have a responsive electronic and print collection. When we really first started looking at our ebooks back in 22, I believe it was, we had an average wait time of about 130 days to get some of the popular titles on ebooks. And now that is down to about 30 days, which is just below the national average. So we've had to heavily invest there. Many of our new library users who are just engaging with us are heavy digital users. They really want access to the ebooks, so we have to make sure that we are providing that access, because the access model is a little different for ebooks. Usually you buy one copy and only one person can check it out at a time. Once you check it out 10 times, you have to buy the book again. So it becomes quite expensive. There are some platforms that do allow simultaneous use, but for the most part on Overdrive, if you're familiar with that, the use is very limited and quite costly as well. Expanding availability of hotspots so people can have access to the internet. That's another big one for us. And we have been wanting to implement RFID technology for our collection for a couple of years, and we're keeping this on the list as a priority, and hopefully we can make it happen. But essentially, this is tagging each of our items, which helps us with inventory control, but it also, on the user end, makes the checkout process a lot more simple because you can check out a stack of books at once instead of them having to be scanned individually as well. Maintenance in our facilities. Our library is a space, and it is our most in-demand service because people need space to be, to work, to learn, and which really defines the purpose of a library in a community. We are also looking at expanding our service hours in 25, and that's specifically to our small neighborhood branches. Currently, those branches operate Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. And we are looking to expand the hours of those branches to match the large branches. So they would be open at least one evening per week and also on Saturdays as well. New bookmobile should be here in Jersey City in March. Keeping our fingers crossed. The manufacturer is way behind on getting the vehicle ready. So the last update we received is that it should be here in March. So we're looking forward to getting that on the road, expanding our mobile services as well. And as I mentioned before, to get full staffing for our outreach department, we'll be increasing staff there. And Learning Center, of course, digital literacy, workforce readiness. We also offer drop-in job search assistance that the public can take advantage of also. So let's move on to page 7. We've got a number of critical capital needs. We do have the renovation coming up for the Priscilla Gardner Main Library, which that will be funded partially by a state grant and matching funds from the city. And I believe this dates back to 2020. Is that right? One of our biggest challenges with the renovation from Priscilla Gardner Main is the temporary space that we'll need while the building is closed. And as you know, finding space for a library downtown is challenging, but we do need to find some space where we can offer some temporary services, at least access to a limited collection, computer access, and those kinds of things. We were fortunate to be awarded a $600,000 grant from the New Jersey Historic Trust to work on the facade of the Gardner Main Library. So while that's financially going to be a big help, it's also quite an honor to be selected for that because that grant is quite challenging to get. We have construction starting on redoing the computer lab at the Miller branch. Of course, we have a need for an elevator to service all 3 floors of that building, and also there are some extensive exterior issues that need to be addressed on the building. All of the windows need to be replaced. There's facade work that needs to be done on 3 sides because we were able to take care of the front of the building last year, I think it was, and also a new roof on that building. The Lafayette branch will be reopening. We're looking at probably a reopening late January. We've done a complete renovation of that space, so there'll be more information coming out about the opening of that branch. Heights, we just installed a new boiler. There's some exterior staircase repairs that need to be done, HVAC. I also mentioned we have the 3 branches that we've taken on, Communipal, the Creative Arts Center, and then the Learning Center satellite on Central Avenue. And before I forget, I do want to thank the council for your support and the mayor also for the Communipal branch, because that branch is really setting the standard for what we want all of our libraries to be like in Jersey City. And just in the 2 months it's been opened, it has been well received by the community. And actually, there's been disagreements about use in the space and that kind of thing because so many people want to get in there. But it's offering access to technologies that we don't have available in other parts of the city. Also, we have a number of structural and safety issues. Refer back to Miller Branch, but some of those things are the same at other branches. We do want to make sure we have all of our facilities are ADA accessible. And the other big thing is we are in really big need of furniture upgrades because, again, that goes hand in hand with how people use buildings now. So people really need furniture that's conducive to how people work and learn today versus, just the typical table and chairs where people sit quietly and work alone. Okay, let's get into the budget categories to kind of give you some idea. So the annual comparison by category, as you see, our salary and benefits we're projecting will go up. We will invest a little more in collections and technology, and that's primarily due to just inflation with the print books and also the rising cost of the digital access as well. More facilities, we'll have more maintenance cost there as well. The increased demand for our programs, an additional bookmobile coming online. We'll need to invest a little more there for programs and outreach. Learning Center, I mentioned the extensive growth we've experienced there and also taking on early literacy initiatives and then just the overall administrative costs with insurances and things like that and supplies that we need for operations. So on page 10, you will see our projected revenue is $17.2 million with 97% of that coming from the municipal allocation. That is down just a little bit from the 24 allocation. Our state aid is a 158. And then we anticipate grant funding for the Learning Center that we get from the Department of Labor. Also, some other revenues on a much smaller scale is, interest, and we get some money for county elections when we hold elections at the branches as well. Page 11 is more of a breakdown of our salary and benefits. Our anticipated growth in 25 for staffing would be up to 168.5 FTEs, and that accounts for all of our posted positions and any critical backfill positions that we will need. Also, increasing branch hours at our small branches, as I mentioned, conference attendance and professional association memberships. Again, that goes back to the continuing professional development that our staff needs to make sure they are on top of all the latest trends and providing, information that the community needs. Page 12, collections and technology. I mentioned the increase in digital collection use, especially for ebooks. We have a constant need for hotspots. We usually have to replace those 1 or 2 times each year. Unfortunately, many times when those are checked out, we at times don't see those devices come back. We are able to cut the data off so people don't continue to benefit from the data, but we do have a loss of the device. Well, so we do have to replace those on a regular basis. Really improving our merchandising and getting people to check out books. Again, we got to get Jersey City reading, but even in this time to see our print circulation increasing is encouraging to see. But we've got some growth there that we can experience. Excuse me. And we're also looking at how we can work with our vendors to help make the whole process of ordering, especially print books, to reduce the amount of time it takes from the order to it gets to the patron's hand, because there are a lot of people who now have to touch an item to make it shelf ready. And there are some solutions that we can start taking advantage of with our vendors to cut down on that time to get the especially bestsellers, New York Times bestseller items into people's hands a lot more quickly. Facilities and maintenance. Of course, we'll have, with 3 new facilities, we'll have, increased costs there to take care of those buildings, life safety and accessibility upgrades, critical repairs that we need to make on those buildings. Renovations, I mentioned we are renovating the Lafayette branch that will be reopening early 25. The other thing that we really need to invest in is security training, not only for our security staff, but also for our staff in general. We are seeing a rise in incidents in the public libraries. And, the staff are really having to take a lot of that on themselves, dealing with that, people who are having mental health challenges or there may be addiction challenges. And these things aren't unique to us. These are things that every urban library is dealing with. Every time I go to the Urban Library Council Summit or have discussions with other directors across the country, this is always top of the list, is how do we keep our public safe and still serve the public in a welcoming way. But those challenges are becoming more prominent, and it is something we need to address, because so far we've been lucky that we haven't had anything serious, but it is one of those things that just any day that something can happen, and we want to be as prepared as possible. Page 14, you'll see, again, the growth in our programs. We got a new bookmobile coming online. Full staffing again for outreach, because we have 3 or 4 staff members we'll have to hire to run the new bookmobile. Also, we want to continue participating in and supporting Jersey City events that we have. I'm sure all of you've been to like the JC Pride or 4th of July, and the library is always there. So we want to make sure we can maintain that presence and let the community know that we're here to support them. This year, we were able to participate in the Riverview Jazz Festival and the Latin Jazz Festival. And for the Latin Jazz Festival, we were especially able to highlight Biblioteca Criolla, because some of their programming was performed at that festival as well. So we were really excited about that. And also, Biblioteca Criolla, in case you didn't know, is the largest Spanish language collection in the state of New Jersey. So that's something that we're very proud of. And it's not just a collection, but it is a cultural center. So you can take salsa dancing and children's stories, anything you want there. So they do a great job serving the community there. Next page, our Learning Center. Again, 1,500 students. We're at 30 locations across the city. We've been able to establish a number of partnerships to get space all throughout the city. The literacy program we have at PS 24, again, that is a very specific program that we're looking at running for at least 3 years, because we want to track the children who are in kindergarten now until they finish 2nd grade to see if we can have some impact on the grade level reading by 3rd grade. Because we know there's a lot of research done about children who aren't reading on grade level at 3rd grade, and how things really start to go downhill from them at that point. And also the drop-in job search assistance, which I'm anticipating we'll probably need to expand, because that's a need we have all across the city as well. And then lastly, our administrative costs. We are always looking at ways to monitor and improve our library operations, whether that's through software or different tools to help us with efficiencies and reporting. Also being able to really tell the library story and increase the engagement in the community, but also on the fundraising side as well. And then, also accounting for the increases in supplies, insurance, and those kinds of things. So that's the end of what I wanted to share with you. We're certainly glad to answer any questions that you may have.
This time, clerk, gonna also say that Councilman Bogiano is here. So he came. Does anyone have any questions? Unless you want me to kick it off. All right, I'll kick it off. Governor Murphy just signed the Freedom to Read Act. And as you see, we have a lot of book bans happening across the country. Have you received any feedback from constituents saying they want any books banned, or have you, what's the policy of the Jersey City Public Library? If you could reiterate that for the public.
Sure. Well, the Jersey City Free Public Library is a book sanctuary, which means we don't ban books. And also, I want to extend our thanks to the council for supporting that through resolution as well. We have been very fortunate in Jersey City that we haven't had a lot of book challenges. There's really only one that comes to mind. And this situation wasn't so much about banning the book as it was wanting it moved to a different location. So we have a documented process that the patron goes through to make that request. It can be appealed, and ultimately that went to our library board. We did uphold where we have the book placed, and that's based on a number of factors with cataloging and different criteria that we follow based on the American Library Association recommendations. So we've been lucky, but even our neighbors just to the north at Hoboken, they have been under attack primarily on social media. My previous library back in North Carolina went through the same thing. Libraries across the country have been dealing with this to the point where library directors are being removed, so they'll put someone in who will take the books off the shelf. So it's gotten pretty heated, but we have been lucky here. Fortunately, I feel like we have a good process in place if we are challenged on a book, and of course now with the state law, but we want to give everyone their fair hearing and go through that process because we're allowed to feel differently about things, but our perspective is people should have the right to choose what they want to read.
Also, with that safety and security, you did speak on that about how you want to train the staff a little bit more. Has there been any collaboration in the past, or do you anticipate collaborating with public safety in the future when it comes to training of staff when it comes to safety and security?
We have had a couple of trainings, and it's been at least a year ago. We did an active shooter training with Jersey City Department. But those kinds of trainings, those are things that we really need to get on the books to have on a regular basis. But also just for more immediate skills, we need to provide like de-escalation training for our staff, because for many of the incidents, they can be handled in that sense. But it's just giving the staff the tools to be able to address that, because if a staff member has a patron coming at them kind of sideways, it's hard to know exactly how to respond, especially when you're at work and you're representing an organization versus how would you handle this as an individual. So really giving them the tools to help de-escalate, and actually that ends up being best for both the staff and the patron, because sometimes the patron's just having a bad day and it happens to be the library staff that they take it out on, and the next day they're fine. But we need to really equip them with those kinds of skills, and to make sure the staff that we have hired for security that they stay on top of their training as well.
I also saw there's the Jersey Journal archives on the what's it called, the online database. What's going to happen after Jersey Journal closes? Will those still be accessible for the foreseeable future, or like forever? Because this is a part of Jersey City history.
Right.
We want to make sure we're retaining that.
It's my understanding, we will own those in perpetuity, so those would still be available.
And was it 500,000 people signed up for library cards, or was it 500,000 checkouts of books? And typically you look for a city of our size to have about 1 million checkouts.
Checkouts, yeah, for print materials.
Why doesn't the Board of Ed and the Jersey City Public Library, why can't the kids get like an automatic library card when they enroll in school?
Well, it's not automatic, but we do have a lot of staff who are getting kids signed up. So we have staff who are going into the schools every day, and they're signing up entire classrooms. The teachers are getting cards as well. It's part of the challenge is then once people are signed up to get them to use the card too. And some of that is on us to make sure we have the materials that people want to read and making it easy for them to do that. But but outside of the school system, just as a city as a whole, like I don't know if we need to do like a read campaign or one community, one read program or something, but we really need to get people engaged in reading and learning.
We used to do this program where it was like if you read, I forgot how many books, it was like 100 books, and then you get a free Pizza Hut pizza.
Mhm. We have, yeah.
It's like I read 1,000 books and you get and I mean, that was a motivating factor for
Right.
me as a kid.
Yeah, we do have 1,000 books before kindergarten program that we have, and we have a number of kids who have completed that. One thing I would like to see with that, because we promote it at all of our branches, but how do we get the kids who really need to be reading to participate in that? Because a lot of the kids who are completing that program are kids who are already reading, right? And it's just another fun thing for them to do, and they get a prize. But I'm really interested in how do we get engaged? How do we engage people who aren't currently reading and valuing what the skills they'll build from that?
What about the pre-K? Because pre-K takes children ages to 3 to 4, right?
I think yes.
Right. So is there a way that we can partner with the pre-K for children who are 3 to 4 to start just reading storybooks to them, which will start engaging children to want to read? Only reason because I got a granddaughter. That's
Right. Yeah.
And I know this is what we did.
Yeah, and in our branches we do, all of them do story times, but also our bookmobile goes to a lot of the schools, and we do have a concentrated effort on those pre-K students, making sure they have library cards, and a lot of times in those cases, because they're so young, the teachers will get the card to check out books for them. So we're going to get a new bookmobile, so that's going to expand our capacity there. But really focusing on those young readers, because that's where we're really going to make the difference, is in instilling that love of reading.
Back to de-escalation. Now, we deal with public safety and we always paying for de-escalation. Is there any way that they can partner with the library to help train the staff? I mean, because we already paying. And they need not just the library, but I think overall as a city, because times has changed. So is there any way that we can request it? Maybe we need to write this down to the BA to see if it's possible that staffing begin to get de-escalation training, because times have changed. If you're dealing with this in the library, people coming in, I'm quite sure if we deal with recreation, sometimes parents are upset, games can get intense, that type of thing that I hear when they're playing soccer and things like that. Is there a way to train the staff? I'm just overall, even when it comes to people walking in the door, paying taxes, sometimes they're very upset. So I think, it has changed
Yes.
in all our lives. So I think we should put a note that we need to speak to the BA, because we do pay for de-escalation. Could they not just train the police department, but start training some of the staff? Because based on what they present to us every time they want us to renew the contract, that they are the best.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if they are the best, then they should be thinking outside of the box to make sure people are just trained, especially people who deal in public service.
Yeah.
So note that somewhere at Sierra, finance, and the library, that maybe that's the next step we need to take when it comes to de-escalation of the staff, because we are paying for it. We can branch it out, not just to the police department.
That would be great, and we'll definitely follow up on that.
That would help us. And then I also see that the majority of your revenue is 97% from the municipality, which is us,
Yes.
right? So now there's that other 3% that you guys basically, not just you guys, but your department has to fill in. I'm just trying to figure out, is there other ways that we can figure out revenue, because I heard with the Chromebooks, they just steal them, right? They just walk away. Is there any way that when they come for a Chromebook, that do we take a credit card?
We don't take a credit card, but we have an agreement they have to sign, and we put that fee onto their account, and their account is blocked if they don't bring it back.
Mhm.
Um,
And how much do we collect when they don't bring it back?
It would
'Cause
be the replacement cost of it.
Okay.
But the other challenge is if we never see them again.
But that's my point. So is there a way that is there a way in the system that they have to present a credit card in order to check out? Because I guarantee you, if you have their credit card and they don't bring the book back, the Chromebook back, you charge the card, they will return that book. I'm just saying
Right.
that's another way we have to look at it. Because there are certain things that we have to be secure in as a city, because the word free gives people the idea that they have a right to it.
Right.
I don't care what you say, they feel like they have a right to it. So maybe now we need to start attaching, more responsibilities as we allow people to check out, that we need your credit card. And if it's not back in 30 days, we're charging it.
How much does each Chromebook cost for you guys?
Chromebooks are what, about 900 and something. And yeah, and it's probably more the hotspot devices that don't come back. And those are 20-30 bucks a piece for just the device part. It's the data that is the expensive part. So fortunately, we've been able to manage those where we can cut off the data so they can't use it anymore. But again, it is $20-30 that is out the door.
The reason why I say that, I think as a city, I don't care if it's $20. People have to know that they don't have the right to take it.
Right.
And I think if we don't put measures in place, you'll always find people that just constantly do it, because we saying, well, it's only $30. We'll just cut off the, just the access to it. No, but that's $30, and you keep adding up over a year. I'm quite sure you could imagine the money that you do lose.
Right.
It can go for another small program.
Yeah.
How does the data program work again? Can you go over that? Is they get the data, whatever the data box and
The hotspot?
hotspot, sorry, and then essentially it lasts a month, or how long are they taking it out for?
The hotspots, I think, are 2-week checkout.
2-week checkouts?
Yeah.
Okay, and if they don't return it in 2 weeks, then it's shut off, I guess.
Yeah, we'll shut the data off.
Okay.
Director Hill, I wanted to take a moment to thank you and your staff for the many programs and support that they provide the residents of Jersey City. Specifically, I want to thank Shane Smith and his team at the Five Corners Library for participating with Pan American Concerned Citizens Action League on a housing information session. They would like to do it again. Also, I'd like to thank John Beekman and the Jersey Room team for consistently preserving and providing historic information on Jersey City homes. Almost every other week, Mr. Beekman is emailing me and my staff on important background information on people, architect, and history in Jersey City. His time and efforts are invaluable. Thank you, and have a happy holiday to you, your staff, and your families.
Beautiful,
Thank
Rich.
you. Yeah.
I saw there's state aid for 158,000. Oh, do you want to respond to that? I mean,
Yeah.
I said thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
For the record, state aid's $158,000. Has that remained static over the last few years, or has that increased? Or, I mean, it seems like a very minuscule amount in the budget, but just wondering what it's going to take to get more from the state.
Well, the short answer would be it would take the state giving all libraries their full appropriation for state aid. We currently don't get that. I think it's at about 50% or so. But in the time I've been in Jersey City, it's been about the same amount.
I also saw the increase in salaries and full-time staff is 16%. Are there discernible metrics that you're going to derive from this increased staffing in terms of like what they're going to be doing? Like, will they be signing more people up? Are they backfilling the positions? Like, why is it 16%? It seems like a large number. I mean,
So it's a combination of backfilling positions. It's also the new branches that we're taking on, getting those fully staffed, and also staffing the outreach department. I can't think off the top of my head the number of positions for that, but there's the bookmobile. We also are going to be hiring a diversity services coordinator as well. Trying to think what else. Yeah, we've got to fill our social worker position, and yeah, there's a number, but a majority of it is going to help us have the capacity for our outreach service.
do we have anything for people that are like hard of hearing or the blind? Any chance in the library? Like Braille, if the Braille material or anything, or if you could check on that. Just because we have a school of the blind
Yeah,
in Jersey City.
you said we have the. Here.
We do have special keyboards that are available on request for folks who are using the computers if they have low vision. I don't believe we have any Braille materials specifically, but we can request them through the interlibrary loan if needed. We certainly also have plenty of audio materials for folks. I'm not sure of anything else off the top of my head, but we could certainly get you a list of
Okay.
things.
Do you have any more libraries planned, like in terms of opening a library, or are we done for now and we're just renovating the ones we have?
All the above. Our next new branch will be the Holland Garden branch,
Okay.
and that's probably about 3 years out
Right.
or so. We are looking across the city just to see where we have gaps in service. Of course, bringing on a new bookmobile will help to some extent, but there are some areas we do need an actual branch. We could use another branch in the Greenville area. Also Newport, that's like a small city in itself.
Oh, right.
And, Pavonia is probably the closest, but it's not easy to get to from there either. But, of course, on the other side of 78, once Holland Garden opens, that's going to be a big help because there are a number of Jersey City residents on that side who again, it would be quite difficult to walk to Pavonia. We could use another branch kind of on the, I guess, the northern side of the Heights. We would really love to find a space for Biblioteca Criolla in the Heights. I think the staff there would love to be in that neighborhood there and have its own space again. Trying to think where else.
You ever thought about Route 440? I mean, we have a project over there that's coming up. Bayfront.
Bayfront.
Yeah, is it close? Because I know there was one of our staff members who was in touch with someone at the mall on 440
Right,
and there's
right.
space over there. But we haven't been able to go look at it yet.
Yeah, it's a desert over there. It
Yeah.
really is. I've been over, it's a desert. Be an interesting place for people to gather because there's a lot of wasted space in that mall. It really is. And it seemed like they need to do something to bring people in and maybe a library such as the way you design Communipaw Avenue might be
Right.
a good location because parking is not an issue.
Right, yeah. Yep.
That's the number one problem in Jersey City sometimes is parking. So if we can find an area where parking is, then parents will bring their children, because you
Yep.
got Chuck E. Cheese over there too. Which
Pizza and a book.
Put books at Chuck E. Cheese.
from Chuck E. Cheese to the library, the parents will love that because it'll wind them down.
Right.
That would be a good spot. That's just my take. Now, you'll have Facebook page.
We do. We have
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. I was about to say
X, okay.
Twitter, but it's X.
It's X now, yeah. Yes, okay. Now, the fiscal officer, I know we assigned a fiscal officer to every division. Is there anything you guys want to add?
The library funding is pretty straightforward. We have a statutory requirement to raise a certain amount every year and remit that to the library at least on a quarterly basis. We do it monthly, and they manage their budget as they see fit. So if there's ever a need for additional funding for the library, we would have to raise that in our budget, but library tax directly offsets the money we remit to them.
Okay, so this is not a problem.
Council President, our autonomous agencies or
Right,
agencies
right.
don't have fiscal officers. Is that something you want to discuss for this
Uh-huh.
upcoming season or talk about coordination like fiscal strategies? Because I know
Right.
make a conversation about revenue and projections and like the city has a grants division. Could we collaborate and coordinate? Happy to kind of sort of discuss that as like we're moving
Okay.
into 2025.
All right, thank you. All right.
Does anyone else have anything to add? With that, I want to thank all of you for coming and discussing the library budget, and anyone that's watching both in the crowd and online. And I hope to see you in the library. And yeah, with that, I motion to adjourn.
Wait, one more
Wait,
question.
okay, I'll rescind the motion.
Just one more question. I see you said you have after-school programs, right?
We're starting after-school tutoring at PS 24.
Just 24 school, no place else.
Right.
Okay, I just want the public to make sure they know. That's why. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Sure.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Councilperson Saleh
Second.
and a second by Council President Waterman at 10:55 a.m. All council members present by acclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
We are out of here at 10:55 a.m. Thank you so much for everyone in present and everyone watching at home for our next budget hearing, which will be the Law Department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we're about to get started with our next budget hearing. Kindly silence your cell phones as I am doing. Make sure we're all good. And the doors are all closed, so we're ready to go. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of December in the year 2024. This is a budget hearing for the Law Department with the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 11 a.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 11:05 a.m. May I have a roll call for commencement of this budget hearing? And I see we have Councilperson Baggiano present, Councilperson Saleh,
Here.
and Council President Waterman. And I believe Councilperson Saleh will be chairing this meeting. If everyone can just identify themselves for the record as we go around the room, we have with our director and acting corporation counsel.
Good morning, Brittany Murray.
Kyle Greaves, Finance Department.
Danny Page, not finance.
Carmen Gandola, Director of Finance.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it over to our chairman, Councilperson Saleh.
Thank you for coming here, Law Department and the administration. I'm going to start the Law Department budget hearings and acting corporation counsel, Brittany Murray, if you can have the floor and go over your budget presentation, and we'll ask questions afterwards.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Council President, Councilman Baggiano. So to start off the Law Department, now we are 5 different practice groups. So we represent the city, the mayor, the council, department directors, and everybody in between, city employees, and any legal matters that arise out of the course of their employment with the city. We're broken down into labor and employment, litigation, transactional, tax, which is our newer group, which we're fully staffed up this year, and governance. Labor and employment does exactly what it says We defend, we also prosecute employment-related disciplines as well. Litigation group, any litigation that pops up, we handle. Right now, we're over 120 litigation cases at any time being handled with combination in-house, thank you, as well as outside counsel. Transactional practice, the council and the administration interact with quite a bit. Those are our contracts, agreements and the like. Oprah requests, our department also assists the clerk's office as well as the different divisions with handling Oprah requests. Tax practice group is the one that recently we've brought in-house. We have 3 attorneys, 2 full-time, 1 part-time handling it. Jersey City right now has 2,800 pending tax appeals, which is a significant amount for anybody. In most recent years, we had outside counsel handling a good chunk of the tax appeals. We have not assigned any new tax appeals to outside counsel. They've been handling the matters they've been assigned, but then we've been bringing them in-house. And then lastly, the governance group, again, the council and the administration interact with them quite a bit. Ordinances, resolutions, anything that have to deal with the city's governance. And this year, in 2024, we had a total of 27 full-time employees and 3 part-time. We did lose 2 attorneys this year, both becoming judges. So Peter Baker left, obviously, and then we also had our head of labor and employment leave as well to become a judge in Union County. So right now we are left with myself as acting corporation counsel, and then we have John McKinney as the first assistant corporation counsel overseeing the transactional, tax, and governance divisions. And then we brought Chanel Robinson back up. She had been down with the administration for a little bit. We did need assistance with handling litigation matters. Chanel is very well-versed in handling labor and employment and litigation matters. And so right now she is overseeing those 2 practice groups. We are without a supervisor for transactional and a supervisor for labor and employment. So the first assistants are filling in those roles to oversee the different practice groups. Right now in transactional, we have a total of including John overseeing it. We have 2 employees, so we have 1 full-time and 1 part-time employee. We're hoping to get an additional employee there to assist with the Oprah requests and everything else we get. For tax, as I said, we have 2 full-time and 1 part-time tax. It would be nice to also bring in additional help as we continue to get rid of outside counsel. For governance right now, we have Itza Wilson, who is our supervisor, and then we have 2 attorneys and a paralegal that work with governance. So we have 1 full-time and 1 part-time attorney. We are also trying to actively hire another attorney for that division. And then labor and employment. We're short on labor and employment as well. They do have a paralegal and we have 1 full-time attorney. Hopefully we're going to have another full-time attorney. We have been trying to hire. There has been some difficulty getting people to get on board. We found a way. Sometimes we're hiring people that may have worked here previously. So hopefully we can get some more help for labor and employment. We do work closely with HR. We also have an investigation group that is made of 3 people now, headed by Andrew DiChiara, who's been a law department investigator for many years and has done a fantastic job. And now we have 2 investigators under him to assist both the law department as well as HR for various investigations. And then lastly, since I skipped them a little bit, litigation, we do have a litigation supervisor, trying to get a paralegal for litigation because that is definitely needed. And then we have 3 attorneys, 3 full-time attorneys handling litigation. So just a little bit about what we do every year. We try to provide as much legal guidance as possible to any city department that requests it of us. We do interact with everybody. I think, everybody has asked us a question. We try to help out as best as we can, either giving legal opinions, giving guidance, assisting with the drafting of responses, documents, anything like that. Like I said before, the tax appeal practice group are very happy on how they've been interacting, being able to save some money with outside counsel as well as do reverse tax appeals. We filed about 100 again this year, reverse tax appeals, to try to catch anything the city might be missing. So that's a great practice that we've continued to have ongoing. We have resolved several lawsuits. We've done also resolved several lawsuits without paying any money, with having dismissals. In recent weeks, we've had at least 3 or 4 that we've resolved without paying any money. We defend them to the best of our ability and always try to get out of the cases we can, and then try to do the best we can with cases that we need to continue to defend. We also had a case go to trial this year where we paid. We had an outside counsel handling it. They did a fantastic job. We did pay them to try the case, but it saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars from demand to the trial verdict, as we got a no cause and didn't have to pay. So those are some of the ways that litigation goes throughout the year. We have also filed a few more recovery actions, meaning if there's property damage to city-owned vehicles, we are seeking out to try to get recovery from people that inflict that damage. So we are recovering some dollars for the city as well, whereas sometimes those aren't able to be recovered. About that. And right now, just to expand upon it a little bit more, like I said, we're about at 120 active litigation matters. We've calculated 20 matters dismissed without payment this year. We did have 2 trials that were conducted this year that I would say both were favorable. We do try to staff up our litigation group as much as we can, because when we handle it in-house, we like to have 2 attorneys work it. The labor and employment group closed out 43 cases this year. The governance group has drafted multiple ordinances and resolutions, including to chapters 84, 160, 254, 255, 276, just to name a few that they've worked on. And again, in terms of transactional, the significant response we've had to do with Oprah requests, as well as reviewing police body-worn camera footage. That has been a significant time consuming process, but we continue to do it. Because I've mentioned the tax group before, 2,800 active matters, and then also investigations with the assisting human resources. Our goals for 2025 are continue to provide as much legal assistance and guidance as we can. We did get upgraded new legal software, which is in our budget request. It is helpful in terms of drafting, brief analyzing, assisting us while we do have lower numbers of attorneys. It does help us out, particularly when we get some interesting random questions. It's a good starting point as well to use this updated legal software. Still LexisNexis, still a very reputable company that we're using. Continue to try to deal with our retention issues. As you'll see, our budget requests for salaries and wages is a majority of our budget. We try to increase it as much as we can to try to get people with, law degrees who have expended a lot of money on their education to come work for us. The increased salaries that have been approved, we very much appreciate, and has allowed us to retain some more individuals than previously, because apparently you either leave to become a judge or you leave for more money. That's what it used to be when we used to lose attorneys. A little shocked about the judges more lately, but yeah, it used to be that, couldn't keep up with the money. But, we've kept up, and we've allowed ourselves to keep some better talent here. And we like to keep people here for the long term, because it's hard for people to work for 1.5 years, 2 years, and then have another person jump in. It takes you a year to really understand the city and get used to everybody and form those relationships. So we'd like to keep people here. We also deal extensively with risk management as part of HR to deal with the managing our insurance fund commission. We want to continue to work with them. Our judgments and settlements are paid through there. So we do work closely with them to try to keep those that that budget in check as much as we possibly can. And our operational needs for this year are still just backfilling our vacant attorney positions. I believe we have 4 vacant right now and a paralegal. We'd like to get those filled. We did update our legal software. I'd like to update some of our case management software as well. I think our old case management software was deleted off my desktop because it was too old. So we have to try to figure out, we've been using Microsoft, try to figure out some other ways to management. So we'll be looking into that, see if there's any cost-effective way for us to make sure we continue to keep up. Since, as the clerk's office knows, it's very important that we keep time and dates and keep it in line to make sure we're not missing any deadlines. And then continue to just upgrade any of our computer and audiovisual equipment. We are still conducting court appearances remotely via telephone. We've continued that on from COVID through now, particularly depositions. People continue to do them remotely instead of traveling and trying to park here. So those are a majority of our needs. And then most of our budget request has remained the same. We've stayed under budget with our outside counsel fees, our outside counsel contracts. And hopefully we can continue to do that. We have resolved some cases, and as we bring more people in-house, a few of the cases that we had to send out when we were completely overburdened, hopefully we can keep in-house, but we will continue to need outside counsel for any conflict cases, any specialty cases, and so on. So if anybody has any questions, that's.
I'm going to open the floor for my council colleagues, unless you want me to kick it off. All right, I'll kick it off. Okay. When it comes to the tax, reverse tax appeals, are we going after the biggest fish or the low-hanging fruit? What's the methodology here, and like the easier cases or the bigger cases that are?
Well, I think it would be a combination of both, right? We're trying to make sure that we get recoup as much as we possibly can, because everybody gets to file their tax appeals. We're trying to make sure we're recouping anything we might miss because of the number of properties we have. So I think it's a mixture, and really it's just how much we can handle. So between 75 and 100 right now is something, we have to pay all the filing fees for that. We have to handle it in-house. So we definitely look through and see what we think are viable claims, and then move on from there.
Outside of the fact that pay might be an issue when it comes to retention, what is an issue that comes to actually acquiring new lawyers who want to come and work for the law department? Like, do you have a top 3 list in terms of what are the hanging chads, if you will, for people? What's the hang up?
Sure. I mean, it's always pay. Can somebody make more money elsewhere? Absolutely. But, we have increased it. I think, we are a public entity. We are in person 5 days a week. There are still law firms. There are still state departments that are operating remotely. So for a while that was a concern because we did have one attorney leave, I think, for just to have one remote day. So I would say the pay, and then you go to some of the flexibility that, to be honest, might not be possible here. But it is different in the legal field where, we still, sometimes when we call outside counsel, they're working from their house. But, the 5 days a week in person. And then, I mean, those are the real two. And then sometimes, we get fantastic experience here at the city, but sometimes people might just see it as a place to get experience until they figure out their long-term goals. Litigation, we get fantastic experience here, but then a few people after a few years in litigation might not be for them, and they might move on, or they might find a specialty that they really like, and then they seek out making more money for that specialty elsewhere.
Is there any way the administration could look into possible flex day for the law department, just because the gaps in this org chart are a little concerning? And it concerns me that The first assistant corporation counsel is also, managing all of these different teams, and his time could be better. Both of their time could be better used, working the other cases instead of managing the groups the way they are, because they don't have any supervisors, right? So it seems like they're performing multiple supervisory tasks when
Yeah, we have 3 supervisors for the 5 groups, and
Okay.
then so 2 of them are without supervisors.
administration could look into that, because that's a big concern, and it's not something that is typical with the law field not to have a flex day. It's just, it's really puts us at a strategic disadvantage. So in
And
terms of recruitment.
just to talk about the multiple roles, we do have people applying right now. I was still litigating cases. I will still appear for orders to show cause. I will still file briefs when they're needed. John McKinney will fill in, still do transactional work, still do all the governance work as well. We do jump back and forth. Our litigation is jumping back and forth as well to help out with labor and employment when they have litigation cases. So we do have multiple people that are dealing with multiple roles right now. Everybody is capable. It just is difficult and can be taxing.
Heavy load.
Yeah, I'm not saying 5 days a week work from home. I'm saying one flex day to,
What is the state standard? The state allow their employees to work from home at least one day, you said.
I believe they still do have some sort of work from home.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can find out the information on what is the state guideline that they require that an employee can work from home?
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll provide that to you.
that would give us some guidance.
Yep.
Because normally if the state does it, normally every other municipality does follow pursuit in some way or another. Go ahead.
Need clarity on how you're defining a flex day, because most of the attorneys are management employees. And again, I don't represent the BA's office or
Right,
HR, but
right.
if you're asking me to report back into something to them, we're going to take the notes back to them. But I definitely need to understand what you're defining as a flex day, because management employees are understood, at least from my understanding, as long as they make their 40, 50 plus 60 hours that we normally do, you're not on a typical 9 to 5 type
Right.
workload. So it is on the department to manage and adhere to those schedules when it comes to management employees. So just I need I guess clarity in regards to when you say flex day.
So is it,
Brittany,
It's really, yeah, I don't want to use the term flex, but it's really just people have remote options, right? Yeah, just
right.
remote options.
So you can find out from the state what are their guidelines. They have remote options.
Sure.
So we just want a guideline on exactly before we try to implement something like that. We have a blueprint more so on how to go about it, because certain roles can be, to be perfectly honest,
Okay, so you're
you know,
asking clarity on
remote,
flexibility on remote.
remote.
Okay.
yeah, we need to get into the 21st century. Sorry.
Remote, yeah.
And I'm not saying, I get the concerns about it, but they're grown, adults, they're lawyers, they got to get their work done. I have to call Brittany up at like 6, 7 o'clock, or I have to call one of the lawyers, like they're always there, their management. So I think, we can accommodate some of this, because it's a recurring issue that I've seen the last few years. I'm just going to put it bluntly here. Something else I saw about finalizing the amendments to the cannabis ordinance. Can you, for once and for all, just say whether or not, if we were to adopt the proposed ordinance that's tabled right now, if that would add 70 or however many cannabis establishments, retail cannabis establishments to Jersey City?
It would
Clear,
not,
clear the air for everybody.
it would not add an additional 70 or over 100 or anything like that. We do have a grand total of 69 applications. 2 were for cultivator licenses. So we have a grand total of 67 class 5 applications. So 67 is the absolute max it could possibly be, but we don't believe it would be near there. That is the absolute maximum.
Thank you for putting that on the record. Let's see.
Do you know offhand how much the city had paid out based on cases and things like that we had to pay out?
In terms of judgments and settlements?
Yes.
It is paid through the IFC, but we did have some large settlements that we paid out throughout the year last year. I can get you the final number, but I would say it would be between probably about 5 million, but that included the $3 million large settlement we had last year. But I can get you the final number since it's paid out differently.
So basically, you pretty much just trying to get employees.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, getting employees, but
Trying to get employees in. That's
right.
what I-
And we have had, like I said, a few people reject offers, but hopefully we get some more in, as soon as we can, just to help everybody out.
How often do you post? I mean, because I know one time we was having a challenge through the HR process, how it was taking long. So has that improved?
Yes, it has improved. We are working on it. I think sometimes we do have inquisitive people who are applying for our jobs as well. We do go back and forth. They go through benefits, things like that. Because some people are leaving jobs where they might have a pension or retirement elsewhere. They want to make sure they get all the benefits and get all the understanding here. So sometimes it's on the applicant, sometimes it's still on us, sometimes it's on myself when we're going through and dealing with which applicants. We do still have a good amount of people apply. So for some jobs, we'll have 6 or 7 interviews, and then we'll discuss them internally. But it has been better. I have one pending, hopefully. It's good to go on Thursday. But so yeah, we've been working with the administration to get it done. So when I speak to them and say we're having a gap right now, we have a big gap because we had a few people leave, and then yeah, so it's been getting better. We're going to keep working on it, and we post when it's available.
So we've been seeing a lot of drones issues around New Jersey. Would it be possible to look into things the municipality can do in terms of like licensing for EV tolls? Those are like the drone taxis. So the FAA is saying that they will implement them before the FIFA World Cup in 2026. So I would like for the law department if they could, and I'll put it in an email, but it's gotten a lot of press, but would like for us to do something on the local level.
Yeah, we can look into anything. There's been a few other, things that have popped up, but with the World Cup coming up, we are dealing with issues related to that anyway. Just as we had the Super Bowl back in 2013, we had some ordinances and things we had to deal with to make sure we were when we were working with the NFL. Now with FIFA, we'll have to work with them as well and make sure we're covering all bases. And I know some of the committees that meet are already dealing with that, and any concerns about drones or that we can deal with. So,
Are there plans to make Brittany Murray from acting to full corporation counsel, or not as of right now? Can we look into that, or I don't know if that's what she wants, but
We're finance, so
They're finance. They
we
don't
can
have-
ask the business administrator to
Correct.
his team to be here, but these are our finance hearings.
okay,
Here for the finance people.
got it.
I just want to be clear, Brittany, it's no longer the
We love Brittany.
salaries that we have in challenges to attract good employees. It's basically the remote option.
yeah, we've worked with HR and the administration to get a good salary
Right, because the
scale.
salaries is there. Okay.
Yeah, so it is better. Yeah, it's mostly remote.
Flexibility.
Yeah, some flexibility,
Gotcha.
just because that's in our industry.
Yeah.
It's still happening, and we can't even we're conducting depositions, things remotely. The federal courts are saying, well, I can't drag somebody up for a deposition from Georgia anymore because we have all the capabilities to do it remotely. So
When it comes to issues like Portside, what are the proper protocols for not just the council, but the city, but also on their end when it comes to addressing some of the issues that are being raised at the council meeting?
Sure. So we've continued to have discussions with the tenants' attorneys as well as the landlord's attorneys. They are on a weekly basis. They are on almost a daily basis. One of our attorneys deals with it. John jumps in and I jump in as well when needed. But through discussions with all council, what should happen if we're dealing more with the tenants, they put in the request to their attorneys send the request to us, and we handle it. It has been handled recently. It was put in a letter for us to go conduct a certain inspection that was handled. They should not, the council, the members of the administration, nobody should be in direct contact with the tenants, particularly about the litigation. We have talked about if they raise other concerns, but we have spoken with their attorneys to have those concerns go through the attorneys. And it is actually their attorney's request that occur as well, just to make it cleaner and to make sure everybody is being represented as they should be. We don't want anybody else dragged into litigation that doesn't have to be. So the attorneys should be handling it. Any requests should go through them. We're distributing any requests as needed to whatever division, department needs to know. I've talked to, obviously the BA is involved in it as well. So they should be going through their legal counsel and then we're dealing with it. And if anybody gets any specific requests, they can also forward it to my office and we'll deal with it with the attorneys as well and make sure it's handled.
So have we exercised the full range of capabilities when it comes to enforcement and whatever is legally permissible from a city standpoint when it comes to Portside? In terms of like, okay, it's in litigation at this point, and then when we enforce, we have to do it in a way that enforces for the whole city and not just like targeting one area, correct?
Sure. Yep. There are obviously always ways we can enforce, as we spoke about. My office does not issue violations. We don't have that capability, so we do rely upon the other divisions who have that capability to do so. We work with them if there's any other thing, any other action that they can take. So as of right now, there are some things pending, and then, we'll continue to monitor it and see what else we could do if it's necessary.
Have we seen a decrease in legal claims this year after we've resolved, there was a lot of cases that were on the back burner in terms of basically simmering slowly. Now that those are gone, do you think that there's going to be a decrease in the next year? Or?
I will never say there'll be a decrease because, before we started this budget hearing, I was getting a phone call that we needed to hop on for an order to show cause that was filed yesterday. So we're always going to continue to get lawsuits no matter what. And just so everyone is aware in terms of the notice of claim process, since we are a public entity, if you have any tort claim, we do have to get notice of that. We use a third-party administrator and our investigators to help deal with those claims as they come in to see if we can, if they need to be resolved before they become full-blown litigation. We are included in a lot of notices of claim on Port Authority property, Hudson County property, so we deal with those on the early stages as well. We will continue to get sued as long as we have roads and employees. So I don't expect that to stop.
No, not really. Brittany, you do a good job.
Thank you.
What software did we switch to, or are you allowed to say that on the record?
So no, we're using Lexis. They just have newer updates to it. It does include an AI program that is only within the Lexis database. So it's not open data. So you can use a little bit of an AI assistant to help you search through. It is very protracted, like it can ask 5 questions. And if you're going off on the deep end, it stops and won't ask, but it's all within the database, since there was an issue with some attorneys in other jurisdictions that use Chat GPT to their detriment, where it made up a few cases. That's not what we have. We have, something internal to Lexis. They also have some brief analyzers and some other drafting capabilities, which are helpful just as a starting point as well. And we do allow, it's not just the attorneys that use our Lexis account. We do allow some other members and some other departments and divisions that need it as well, that we pay for.
Do you have any ideas for promoting diversity and inclusion? Because it says that's one of the 2025 goals when it comes to department hiring and procurement.
Yeah, we've reached, the last time when we were trying to hire, we do reach out to the different organizations, obviously the Garden State Bar Association or the Hispanic. The HBA is also, they're good sources of finding diverse talent. I will say we do get diverse applicants. Sometimes it is an issue if somebody can come in 5 days a week and come in here, if they have a family or if they have other obligations and things like that. So we definitely want people from all different walks of life to work here. The perspectives we get from our diverse attorneys is fantastic, and obviously always something we're going to promote on our outside counsel list too. Now I believe we have at least 5 minority-owned businesses, and continue to reach out to them as well. That's also been helpful when we have different attorneys from different cases we've handled. We're introduced to different attorneys as well, and we've been able to make connections that way. But we do try, if we post jobs, we send them out to some organizations that can help us reach a more diverse applicant pool.
Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you, Corporation Counsel, for coming today and sharing your time and your budget with us and the rest of the city. And with that, I'd like to motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Councilperson Saleh,
Second.
seconded by Council President Waterman. And the motion to adjourn was made at 11:39 a.m. All council members present by acclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
We are out of here at 11:39 a.m. Thank you so much, everyone present. Stay tuned. We're going to be taking a short break for lunch, and then we'll be back with the Office of the Tax Assessor at 1 p.m. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay. We're about to get started, so if we can silence our cell phones, all the doors are closed, so we can get started. Good afternoon, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of December in the year 2024. This is a budget hearing for the Office of the Tax Assessor with the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled, 1 p.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 1:12 p.m. May I have a roll call for the commencement of this budget hearing? Instead of calling everyone, I'll just call the council members who are present. Councilperson Baggiano, Councilperson Saleh,
Here.
and Council President Waterman.
Here.
Okay, we have 3 council members in attendance at 1:12 p.m. In addition, at the time of its preparation, the notice of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Monday, December 9th, 2024 at 5:31 p.m. to the mayor, municipal council, business administrator, corporation council, local newspapers, so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. I am going to turn it over to our chairperson, and that would be Councilperson Saleh.
Thank you so much, Sean. And with that, if we could have our guests come and introduce themselves, and if you could go over your presentation today.
Yeah, so we would just like everybody to introduce themselves for the record, and for people at home who don't know all the faces, we'd greatly appreciate it. Start with our tax assessor. You just got to turn it on up top. You can take it off the stand.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Good afternoon, Council President and Council members. I'm Laura Takuri from the Tax Assessor Office. I'm here to present the budget for my, I'm sorry. I have with me Sandy Masija. She's one of my assistant assessor. She's actually coming. And I have Sakia Gregory. She's one of the fiscal officers.
Kyle Greaves, Finance, and Danny Pageant, Finance.
So I'm here to present my budget for 2025. I think you have a copy of the PowerPoint for my department. If we go to the first page, I just want to give you an overview about my department. My office is in charge of reassessing the properties in Jersey City, which is a real estate property. So basically, the Office of Assessor is in charge with the deputy of assessing the real property, both taxable and exempt, for the purpose of general taxation. We are currently the largest city and line items in the state of New Jersey. Right now, we have like a 65,000 line items, which means property accounts in the city. So we are bigger than Newark. Newark is bigger in population, but we're bigger in properties. And also, aside of assessing, we also in charge of the SID. We do have currently 7 SIDs. We have Central Avenue, Jonah Square, Historic Downtown, Exchange Place, Jackson Hill, McGilly Square, and West Side. That's the 7 SIDs that we currently have in the books. So we're in charge of creating the building after the budget is approved. Going to the third page, I just want to give you an overview about the past 4 years budgets from 2022 to 2025. As you can see in my chart, it has been a slight increase in my budget. Of course, it's due to the supervisors union because they've been increasing the salaries in the past 24 and 25. So the difference in my budget from 2024 to 2025 is 124,803, an increase. And that one is due to the supervisors increases. I do have 7 supervisors under my department. 5 of them are under their assessors. Also, I increased my overtime. The overtime is increased due to the workload that we have in my office. We have 3 busy seasons. The first one is the appeals when we have in the county. Then the second is when we work in the added assessments for October. And then in December, we work for the rateable base, which is the entire month of December with January. So the overtime is very needed since we do have a lot of line items in the city. As you can see everywhere in the city, it is a lot of constructions happening everywhere. Any corner that you go, it is a construction. So for that, I'm looking for overtime additional to what we asked in 2024. In 2024, we asked for 50,000, but we used almost 4,000 more than what we asked for. So I'm shooting for 18,000. So to keep it safe and to be able to cover my 3 busy seasons in my department. If we go down to the chart of the employee headcount, as you can see, has been a change in employees. Especially in 2013, I have 2 employees that retired and 2 employees that resigned. So I'm trying to fulfill those vacancies. So I'm in the process of hiring 3 assessing aides, which is considered inspectors in my department, and 1 assessor and 1 clerk. So I want just to cover the vacancies and also an assessor to help me out with the workload in the office. If we move to page number 4, it is the organizational chart. If you notice, I divided my department in 2 different areas, commercial and residential. I just want to be able to keep tracking what is happening in the commercial area and the residential area. So I do have people in charge of the department. And I put in the people who I know have the best abilities and are capable to reassess those properties. So I feel very confident dividing the department in 2 areas. That's basically the layout of my departments. I'm in the head of the department, and then I'm proposing to promote one of my assistant assessors to deputy. So I'm in the process to do that. And then to the left side, I do have my assistant land surveyor. To the right, it is my administrative clerk. And then we keep going down. We be Ray McTeskill, which is a principal assistant assessor. He actually carried a CTA license and an appraisal license as well. Going down is Pavel Pilsik, which is an assistant assessor, same. He carried a CTA license and appraisal. Just to give you an idea how my department works, to be able to perform this assessing job, you need to be certified by the state. And for us to keep the license, we need to keep taking courses every year to be to move the credits towards our license. So the only way that we can perform this is with a certified tax assessor license. And for us, having those assessors with appraisal license is a plus, since they can help us have a better understanding about the market when it's related with commercial real estate. If we keep going down, I do have my assistant assessor, Sandy. Under her, I have 3 assessing aides, which are the inspectors. One of them is a vacancy, so I'm trying to hire them for 2025. To the right side, it is my assistant assessor, which I hope I can hire in 2025, so he can be in charge of my inspectors in the commercial area. And moving to the right, I do have my clerks. So I have a supervisor clerk and then 4 clerks underneath. If you have any questions, please let me know.
How much are the vacant assessing aid inspector positions?
Starting the salary is 41.
41? Okay.
Is that compatible?
Like other,
Is that compatible? 41.
It is. I mean, that's the basic, and then of course, based on the performance, depending what kind of license they have, I would prefer them to have a real estate, and then the salary can be based on the experience of the person.
That's just a starting.
That's the starting point. Yes. I'm just looking for somebody with basic education and also with some kind of experience and driving license. Of course, if they come with any type of license, the salary will be changed based on those certifications or licenses.
you said you assess based off of commercial and residential. A lot of properties are both now. How do you resolve that when it's both, when it's like commercial on the ground floor and
Well, all my
Is it-
assessors are well educated to assess them. Those are considered mixed-use properties. Commercial properties, we assess them and based on income producing. So the income producing is based on how much they're collecting in rent, and then we apply a formula, expenses, vacancy, and cap rates to arrive with a market value. So my assessors, even in the commercial or residential area, have a lot of knowledge about how they assess them. But I divide it for the purpose of me trying to make sure who is in top of certain area in the city. So but all of them are very well qualified to assess all of them.
as far as sorry, were you gonna, isn't it? Oh, no. Okay, sorry, ladies first. So my bad.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if there's, educational, you spoke about how you have to have continuing education. Is there anything that's coming up in 2025 that you see as a growth opportunity for your office in terms of a conference or like something that, you want to make sure that your staff is able to go to?
Yes, we do have a lot of associations that we are part of it. They offer courses every few months. So anything that is related with my department, especially when it's a tax appeals, changing and no usable codes, or anything regarding how to value antennas, billboards, whatever. So anything that is related to my department, I would advise them to take the courses. So we do have a lot of courses that happens every 2 or 3 months in the state. So my staff usually goes to those courses. We need to be able to come up with credits to keep up with our license. So that's a requirement by state.
Any questions from my colleagues?
Qualified.
Yes,
Another plus.
yes. The administration give me the opportunity to hire people that have actually license with the real estate. So that's a plus for me, somebody with a background, so we don't have to waste time training people. So they already have the knowledge about real estate.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you. So if we move to the page number 5, it is a chart of the exempt properties. I just want to show you a little bit of how exempt properties are in the city. So we do the different type of exemptions. All of them are classified with under class 15. As you can see, like 15A is like a public schools, 15B is other schools, 15C is a public properties, and one of the biggest one I would say is the 15F, which is other properties, is pilot properties or veterans exemptions. So I just want to show you a chart how the exempt properties are in the city. So what is the percentage of them in the city?
Can you, wait, you said 15A is?
15F is like other exemptions such as a long-term properties.
What is it?
Pilot agreements. So usually like 201 Marine Boulevard, 88 Morgan, any properties that have a pilot agreements, they usually have 2 accounts, one for the land and one for the improvement. So they are classified as 15F. They do pay taxes, but they pay under the pilot agreement.
Or according to this, it's almost $15 billion in tax exempt properties in Jersey City.
That is correct. If you added all of them, it is actually a big chunk, but it's everything there. We're talking about cemeteries, public schools, churches, charitable properties, and pilots and veterans exemptions as well. So it's everything in general.
Wow.
And we are a biggest city, so that's why it's so many properties. So
Is there labels for these? Like, because I know 15F is the pilot, 15E.
that's a cemeteries. It's nothing that we can
Cemeteries?
change in that level. So,
Okay, and then
You can't fill with
15.
dead people?
I mean, if you want to build in the top, you
tax
can
the
do it
dead
with the city apply.
we're not taxing dead people yet. It's not that bad.
You never know. We're just
15D, what is that?
15D is like a churches and charitable organization that's not profit.
Okay. And 15C,
It's a public property.
public property.
City, Jersey City.
That's like the city and the Board of Ed?
Yes, Jersey
Okay.
City libraries, anything that is a public use.
Okay, hold on. 15B,
B is other school properties,
school, oh, that's the school properties?
other school properties.
Other school
And
properties.
15A is a public schools.
Hold on. And 15F,
F is pilots, other exemptions, such as the pilots or veterans exemptions. Usually veterans are 100% exempt, and they classify as 15F.
that's 15F is the other pilots.
Other pilots,
And
yes.
veteran exemptions.
Right.
Okay,
Anything that doesn't belong into those churches or public schools.
okay. Okay,
Sorry, I cannot hear.
What was 15A?
15A is a public schools.
that gives us a little clarity and insight into,
Yes, it's so many classes aside of those, that you can distinguish a property in Jersey City. So it's good to know.
and this is updated for as of this year.
Yes, that's for 2025.
Okay, like the,
Every year changes. It is
Yeah.
properties the city sell or any profit sell to the LLCs. So we updated those properties as the deed comes to my office. So of course, depending the timing of the sale. So if the property is sold between the year, we become taxable the following year, but we charge them back based on the deed date. So we have an updated database.
you could proceed.
Okay. And then we move into page number 6. Again, it just my department is in charge of deeds as well. So when you purchase a property, the deed is usually recorded in the Hudson County. The Hudson County forwarded a copy to my office, and we updated the database in the computer. So based on the information that we enter to the system, that's how the bills are being sent to the property owners. So I just want to show you kind of an overview on how the deeds, meaning people purchase properties, has been changed in the prior 4 years. So it was a big increase after the pandemic. As you can see in 2025, we have a 4,575 deeds because back then the market was very active and also the mortgage rates were very low. So people start buying a lot. That's why you can see that it's a 5,475 deeds that we received that year, meaning 4,575 new owners in Jersey City. And then moving to 2023-24, it went down. Of course, it's very clear that because the market changed, the inventory is down, but the mortgages rates are up. So that's why actually the prices are going down. We kind of estimate that in 2025, it could go up based on the prior sales in Jersey City. So we kind of projecting to go up to 4,110. And that's based on the data that we have. So that's kind of an overview for you to know how the activity is in sales in Jersey City, especially based on my experience in the prior year or so, it is more about market rent and also condos. So condos has been happening in Journal Square, the Heights, Greenbelt Lafayette. The market is, I don't think I can compare West Bergen with Bergen Lafayette or Greenbelt because it is almost the same market. It's not even a differentiation like it used to be back then. So when you go to the market, they have 5 different neighborhoods. Would they consider West Bergen one market? Bergen Lafayette another one, and Greenville another one when you research it in the MLS Paragon. But now, if you compare the prices, the market is there. So it is not difference where are you buying a home. The houses are built. An average home in those areas can be more than 500. So it is really expensive without renovations. With renovations, we're talking about over 800 in those areas. The Heights is a different story. Condos are going for over $1 million, $1.2 million, depending where you buy a condo with the 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So it is very expensive. A condo in the Heights, yes.
Sorry.
Downtown,
tongue.
downtown, I saw one condo at 2.4 million. So it is, the market is insane everywhere that you see it. And Journalist Square is very hot in the rental market. So even buildings there, new construction buildings are not even 2 or 3 months that they actually full in Journalist Square, the rentals. So I'm talking about a class 4Cs, which is a rental apartments. And that's why they're building everywhere in Journalist Square, because how big rentals market is in that area. So that's basically what is happening in Jersey City.
Do you have any questions, colleagues?
So Journal Square is mostly the rental point.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everything in
Heights
that
is more condos people purchasing.
right. Heights is more condos for 2 families, and they do condos, and those condos are the toughest that I saw in sales is like 1.2. The lowest would be 850, 750, depending where you see. And of course, the between Terrace and Leonard is one market. When you go to Summit, Central Avenue is a different market. Ogden is a different story. It's higher than all those areas because of the proximity of Hoboken and the abuse. So it is a changing market, but it's way higher than 800, just a condo alone.
Even with the interest rates as high as they are, because
Still, they buying it. Yeah, I saw a condo in downtown in Fifth Avenue, 2 units, and the lot size 20 by 100. Was like a duplex. Each was selling for 2.4. Of course, the finishes inside are totally different than other in the city, and we had to value those based on what is inside and the condition of the properties. But how the market is changing is not comparison based on the past 2-3 years. It's not even, I can even kind of say that it looks like back in 2023 or 4, because it's, even though the rates are up, they still buying. I'm sorry.
Is this throughout the whole country, or this is just New Jersey because we're close to New York?
I think it's because we are close to New York, because a lot of people that are coming from Brooklyn, from Manhattan. How is for them it's cheap a rent. Like in a studio can be for 28,800, and a two bedroom like 3,600, and they pay in New York City like $5,000-$6,000. So for them it's like a savings because they have the pad in Journalist Square.
Right.
Europe Street, the same thing, and the amenities and everything that Jersey City is offering is 100% better than New York City, of course.
Well, let me ask you something. As we build these buildings, okay, and I know assessment changed as the completion of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess when they get fully completed, then we are at our highest rate with assessment and we receive the taxes?
Yes, I mean, we assess all of them based on the income producing. Of course,
Okay.
we have to.
Oh, based on the income produced.
Right, any income, any commercial properties, which is rentals
Okay.
or mixed use commercial plus apartments or industrial, all of them are based on income. So of course, the income comes, we have to consider what is the vacancy of the property and also the expenses that the building is spending in electrical, whatever expenses they have. And then we derive with an estimated market value, apply with the ratio, and then we arrive with assessment value. So income producing properties are those class 4Cs. All of them in the Journalist Square are income producing properties.
It's income producing property.
Yes.
So let me see if I understand this pretty much. Now, let's say we got a big building and their income, they only got 3/4% income coming in the building itself. We are assessing the property value based on the 3/4 of income coming in,
Well,
not the full.
has to do with timing. So I assess them based on the TCO, temporary certificate occupancy or certificate occupancy.
Okay.
So we had to view how long they take you to fully occupy the place.
Okay.
Based on that, because I had to do an added assessment depending, again, it's based on the timing, depending when you pull up the certificate occupancy or CO.
Okay.
If you have the CO in July, for example, I cannot tax you right away because I already closed my books for the year.
Gotcha.
My charges will be for 2025. However, I had to go back 5 months based on the completion of the project. And in that time, I had to see how long they take you to be able to fully occupy. I might give it some break because, of course, you don't occupy the building in 3 months. It takes you some time depending where the building is located.
Right.
For 2025, is in a stable market as assessment value has completed.
Hmm. Go ahead.
Has to do with timing again, because when we close the books, it's already done. It's not, the books are already closed. So we charge them back through the added assessment.
So just to recap, based off of this chart that you've provided, the market activity in Jersey City doesn't seem to be slowing down with the rise in interest rates. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. You could proceed.
Okay. Any questions about this chart? No? So I just move into my 2025 department goals. In the 2024, basically one of the things that we trying to do was reduce the rateable and the appeals. Our ratio was 86.55. For 2025, it was increased to 91.17. However, we trying to it's under appeal in the state because 5 cities filed an appeal to trying to challenge the increase of the ratio. So we don't know if it's going to be in the 91.17 or lower. I just mentioned this because that could be a change in the rateable base for 2025 because the percentage went down. My goal number 2, it was to increase the rateable base in 2022 to $1.3 billion in the rateable. Actually, we did 1.4. The third goal was to kind of replace the prior tablets. We did have our tablets. We received them in March. I'm just trying to work with a software company to develop a better inspection software for me to be able to kind of better the quality and quantity of my inspectors. Take time to do something like that. So I know I've been talking for that for a while. My prior assessor left, so I'm trying to kind of move to the right direction. And since everything has been in top appeals, reassessments, added, so I didn't have time to kind of move forward with this, but that's one of my goals for 2025 is push it to get a right software for the inspectors so I can get more people to do more inspections and basically the quality and quantity, that's what I'm after. And number 3, I do have now 3 vehicles for my inspectors. I'm hoping to hire 2 more inspectors. I hope the administration can provide me at least 2-3 more cars that they can help me out. I'm getting money. I hope they can give me some money for me to get 2 more cars. And goal number 5 is actually same, is to optimizing the inspections due to the search of field inspectors. However, I'm working in hiring you, so I will be hopefully achieved in 2025. My goal 6 is a goal that is moving every year because it's the increase in inspections, again, due to the permit COs. It is properties that they do works with no renovation. So in that sense, I'm trying to send my inspectors every few weeks to a different areas where I know it is activity happening, because I don't need to have a permit for me to act on it. If I have enough proof that a property is under renovation with having a picture or having anything with my inspectors goes for a drive-by, that's enough data for me to increase the value. So a lot of people think that because they don't have a CO or DCO or permits, we don't have the right to assess them. But for me, changing use, changing work, for me, that's a change in value. So I'm after anything that has a change. I usually say, even though if you put a fence or a paved lot, I will go after too. So it's minimal, but it will be. The only thing that I will not charge is if you put a plant that you can move. But everything that is extended to the lot, it will be reassessed. And my goals for 2025 is basically, again, charges to monitor my usable and non-usable cells to maintain a ratio. That's the main thing for my department. The second is, like I mentioned before, just trying to finalize the software for the inspectors. And I'm hoping to be able to merge my software with Tyler. Since building department work with permits, that is like a dream of mine. I hope I can do that possible because that will make my life so easy, having everything in the tablet. So I'm trying to see if it's possible to do. I think it's possible. It's just kind of trying to find a way. How can we do that? The third one is actually together with inspections. If I do have the tablets, I will be able to increase my inspections, go after my COs, My site plan approvals, of course, I act on it since when the site plan approvals are done, approved, everything is ready to be done, my land values goes up. So that's also something that we review. My goal number 4, it is defending the tax appeals. With this ratio, it is we estimate that we're going to have around 3,897 appeals in the county level with the tax court level. So it is a lot of work that my department has. I don't know, many of you don't know how much work takes to actually challenge one property. Just to give you an idea, when somebody files an appeal for one property, my assessor has to review the property, 3 sales for the city to support the value, and the 3 sales that the taxpayer provide. So it is time consuming for only one property. So when the hearing days in the county happen, I usually have 65 to 70 cases per day. So that's the reason why we use a lot of overtime, because it is very challenging to review those sales, especially when you have to inspect them, when you have to check, or we're talking about high rise to review the income. So for one property, it takes more than half an hour or hour at least to review one. And in cases like that, we have 65 to 70 per day. So that's a lot of work for us when the appeals come. So in 2023, we had 3,168 county appeals. They went down to, in 2024, 1,606. So we expecting to probably have between close to 2,000 this year in 2025 in the county level. In the state level, we have pending cases of 2,390 for multiple years. My goal number 5 is actually to trying to increase the rateable base in 2025 to $1.8 billion. Just to give you an idea how the rateable was in the prior years, in 2023, our rateable base was $43,959,000. In 2024, $45,392,000. I'm expecting to get in the $47,192,000 for 2025. So that's the goal. Now we are after properties that are under construction now for the rateable of 2025 partial assessment properties.
Does anyone have any questions regarding slide 7?
Let me ask you a question, Laura. You said your department needs overtime in order to do the tax appeals.
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
So let me ask you, would it benefit your department if we just hire somebody just to handle all your tax appeals?
You mean outside people?
An individual person. I mean, from your office, because it's your office that handle the tax appeals that you got to go to court and they got to stay, you know, throughout the day. So I'm saying, because I know you have vacancies here too, is it beneficial that you just hire one person who handles nothing but your tax appeals?
It is impossible to do something like because there's so much work to do that. So it is hard for just one person to be in charge of the appeals, because I'm talking about in the county level, 2,000 appeals. So just for one property alone, it's a time consuming. So I have 4 assessors working in the calendars for an added assessment that I have 200 cases because how fast the time goes. I only have 2 weeks for them to review the data.
And all 4 of them go to court at the same time?
Yes. So they have, because you can try the case, we can review the properties, but it's a time consuming. If we're talking about a high rise, of course, it's going to take you more than half a day just to review the leases, review the vacancies, everything that is related with the building. So it is in this city, how many line items we have, to have only one is not even possible to do that. I've been working in the city for a while. So even when I was an assistant assessor, I would have 6 people and we couldn't even handle the job because it's so much work and it's time consuming. Again, it's more research. You need to read the documents. When somebody is coming with a lease, they give a lease for 2018, and then you need to be adding a percentage of increase every year. So just for you to calculate the numbers for one lease, if we're talking about 10 or 12 leases, it is a time consuming. And then when the county appeals come, they start sending a notice after April 1st. They're supposed to they give us time to June, July. Having 65 cases per day is hard. I did it myself, and it's impossible to actually do that 65. So that's why sometimes we postpone, because we need inspections, we need additional data, we need and we need inspections. We had to remember that the assessment values that we have in the books now is based on the market of 16 and 17, which is totally changing, that we're talking about 6-7 years now. It's not even compared with the back then in 2016. So any appeal that they file now, I'm requesting an inspection. Things can change in 6 years, in a year or two. So it is time consuming. So perhaps one person doing that, not even a small city have one. They have many assessors. So my goal is to kind of try to hire at least 1 or 2 more assessors to kind of help us with our workload.
Any further questions?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, it really warmed my heart when you said that you wanted to get software that looped in with Tyler, which is the system that HEDC is using for construction permits. They're using it for, anything that happens in the city. And it would be directly beneficial to your department to have not just access, but different capabilities in that system. Where are you in that? Because we're gonna give a light grilling to HEDC when they come as well, because we need a unity of these governmental departments. Like, one hand needs to know what the other is doing, especially in this case, because without you, we wouldn't be able to collect all the taxes, the appropriate taxes for the city, and that's the basic business model for government, unfortunately. So where are you with the tax software Unity with HEDC, and what can the council do to help push that dialogue forward?
The access to Tyler is technically just go to the website and have a username like everybody else. That's the way that we access the file. So we do have access to Tyler. The idea of me using that technology to my tablets is basically, it's like having a phone. When you go to your phone, I just want to be able to click on that button when they give me a red flag and say, look, it is a permit in this location. Tyler works with my data because when I change a black or lat in my database, they are the ones who get it from my system to their system. So like you're right, they cannot work without me. So anything, that's why I want to be able to work with them for me to be able to generate revenue based on those permits that they issue every day. So my idea is more about connecting Tyler to the software of the inspection. So access, I do have access, but I just want to be able to merge together in a software that I can make easy when I put let's say 10 exchange plates. By me putting in my tablet, I want to see if I can have a red flag that it is stating that a permit has been issued. So I know that I need to act on it because it is a permit that has been issued or CO has been apply. So something like that, because we are in this era when the technology is everything. So that's my idea, just kind of adding to the software of my tablet. Access, I do have it.
There's someone that's actively monitoring not just the permits, but also planning board, zoning board approvals, just to assess properties after, let's say, an approval goes through at each of these different board hearings.
We do have access. They notify us when they have a permits. But again, that's a good point because that would be something that I would like to also know. When a planning board is approved a site plan, they can be accessed directly to the property when I open the property. So just it's about linking the files, synchronizing the files between when if we use a property has one common identifier for everything, we can have everything in one. So that's the idea, just to have everything in one tablet. So that's what I'm looking for.
And lastly, on this page, the last reval we had was in 2018. Do you have a stance on a rolling reval if the city was to enact an ordinance to do a rolling reval, like starting with Ward A, B, C, D, E, F, like after each year?
Well, that would be something that, I mean, right now the ratio is over 80%. I don't think will be a reval happening anytime soon since we are close to the 100% value. As you know, the prior revaluation before the 2018 was 1988, then 2018. Again, the market is still in the 80% ratio. The lowest ratio that Jersey City has was 23%. So that's more about following the market. To do a rolling assessment, we probably have to see what areas we need to explore to do something like that. because the market changed a lot since that last revaluation. Again, the reval of 18 was using a market of 16 and 17, which is nothing compared with today's market.
Downtown and Journal Square, are booming, so that's why.
Everywhere. I don't, like I explained before, it's not just those areas, everywhere.
Yeah.
Journal Square downtown is about more rent. But if you're talking about residential properties, it's everywhere.
There's a lot of condo conversions, all that. So that's why it was like the efficacy of
I
doing
mean,
that.
those are assessed based on the last year market, no matter what. So we up to date in those new constructions. The ones that we have in an issue will be properties that never have any changes in value since the revaluation in 2018. Everything else that's been new, improved, and reno, that's what we've been reassessing them. That's how you guys ended up with more money because we keep adding more revenue because of those new constructions.
Expanding the pie. Yep. All right, you could proceed.
Well, page number 8 is just an overview how the permits and COs has been issued in the past since 2022 to 2025. So just to give you an overview, more or less how the permits has been issued. Any permit COs that is issued, I try to inspect all of them. Jersey City is very Jersey City usually pull permits for something basic, but in reality, sometimes they use a gut rehab. So that's why I'm very up to the permits, even though you pull electrical or fire, and I see that you actually got in the property, I had to request an inspection. So I'm trying to review all the permits that are being issued, no matter what it is. Especially when you have 10 permits in one building, is because you're not only changing the sink, because you had to do a gut rehab to do something like that. For them to be able to do the work, they usually put a permit in the window. For me, it's more about what is happening inside. Changing use, rehab, adding a floor, addition, basement done. That's what I'm after. So even though they pull electrical, but I see that you're adding a floor, I would charge you the floor. Okay. So then if we go to the next page, it is page number 9 is about the budget changes in my office. It is not a big increase. Actually the increase between 2020, 2024, like I mentioned in my third page, it is like 124,803 in my budget since 2024. I think one of the changes is about the salaries because of the supervisors union. Also because of my new hires, that's the salary. It's not much anyway. It's only 124 for my department. And the other one is the overtime. Last year I asked for, they give me 50,000. I spent almost 54,000. Now I'm asking for 18, additional to the 50. So I'm asking for 68,000 in overtime money. And the other change is the item number 3 or 4, which is the training classes. That one is done by HR, but that's the money for my assessors to keep up with the credits and the training. So that's the 6,500, but that goes to the budget of HR for them to be able to keep up with the credits. That's basically everything related to my budget. If you have any questions.
Any questions from my colleagues? Okay. It seems like a very modest budget increase. Your office serves a critical function for our city. My question is, are you planning on having any staff aggressively collect the payroll tax? Where are we with that? Do you have any or would that go through compliance? Do you have any compliance personnel to aggressively collect the payroll tax?
Unfortunately, that's not my area. That's the tax collector. I'm more assessing properties.
Got it.
That's my area. So that would be more about Tricia Greco. She's in the tax collector department.
Okay, we'll ask her. Any final thoughts?
I just appreciate your time and everything's okay.
Well, thank you so much, Director,
Thank you.
and I appreciate you for coming here and presenting this budget. With that, I motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 1:52 PM was made by Councilperson Saleh, seconded by Council President Waterman. All in favor of the motion to adjourn at 1:52 PM. All council members present by acclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
We are out of here at 1:52 PM.
Randy. Yeah. Take care.
Okay, everyone, we're about to get started. If we can silence our cell phones, and I see all the doors are closed. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of December in the year 2024. This is a budget hearing for the Department of Recreation and Youth Development with the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 2 p.m. start. The clock on my cell phone is showing 2:06 p.m. Instead of having a roll call, I'm just going to call out the council members and have them say present. Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Soleil.
Here.
Councilperson Solomon. And Council President Waterman. Okay, we have 4 council members in attendance at 2:06 p.m. In addition, in the time of its preparation, the notice of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Monday, December 9th, 2024 at 5:31 p.m. to the Mayor, Municipal Council, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and to the local newspapers, so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. I am going to turn it over to our chairperson of the meeting, and that is Councilperson Soleil.
Thank you.
Before I do that, I would just need everyone to identify themselves for the record, especially for the people who are watching at home. They don't know the names and the faces like we do. So we can start with the Department of Recreation and Youth Development. Got to turn the mic on. You could take it off the stand if you'd like.
My name is Keith Donath, Donath, Division Director for Enrichment.
Rosemary Nunez, Division Director.
James Jackson, Division Director, Parks.
Donna Ward, Fiscal Officer.
Ileana Peraza, Assistant Fiscal Officer.
Danny Bates, not Finance. Kyle Greaves, Finance.
Carmen Gandula, Director of Finance.
I will now turn it over to you, Chairperson Soleil.
Thank you so much, Clerk, and thank you so much to the Department of Recreation and Youth Development for coming here today to present their budget. The Department of Recreation and Youth Development serves a critical function in our city when it comes to just like the active and passive recreation and also the opportunities we give our children. And today, if you can go over your proposed 2025 budget, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Councilman. I just want to say good afternoon, Council President. It's great to see you, council members, Finance Department. Thank you for allowing us our time here. We're here. The budget is to be presented, given to us by the Director of the Department, Lucinda McLaughlin, who is not able to speak at this time. So I'm just going to go through everything page by page and start. So the department roles and responsibilities. The department mission is to empower Jersey City's youth to contribute in our diverse community and beyond. The department's vision is that all Jersey City children, youth, and youth adults are thriving and productive, creating diverse and successful communities irrespective of race, ethnicity, income, sexual orientation, or ability. The director's office is responsible for all the oversight of staffing, operations, and budget, including grant management. The division of enrichment is responsible for providing quality professional recreational services and programs for athletic and active residents while encouraging that each and every resident stay fit, relieve stress, and become further acclimated to with their surroundings community by the way of recreational activities. The Division of Recreation is responsible for providing a environment for swimming and recreation at pools and skating rink, including lessons and aquatic specific maintenance. Division of Parks and Division of Park Maintenance is responsible for performing general maintenance operations at the city parks, related facilities, supporting all cultural affair events held in parks, coordinating and supporting the Jersey City Parks Coalition, identifying, performing improvements where feasible, and interfacing with the other city agencies regarding projects. On to page 3. Our total Department of Recreation and Youth Development budget and staff totals. For this year, our budget analysis 2025, we're looking at $8,551,799.54. And that is a couple dollars raise from last year. And then when we go to our head counts for this year, we're looking at 69 full-time employees and then 62 part-time employees. Jump in. By the way, they might jump in a little bit just to kind of give me more information that's needed. Do you have anything you want to add?
Why is it decreased from 2023 to 2025? If you mind me asking.
So in conversation with the director, any specifics, as unfortunately this was handed to us and we're kind of looking at this as well, we'll address those questions with her.
No problem.
I just wanted to rectify for the record, the full-time employees are 62 and the part-time are 69. It's just like.
Okay, I do see there was a decrease in full-time employees, 2023 to now. So, and increase in part-time.
So for the aquatic side, we did have an increase on a decrease in the full-time because we did convert more into BT19s just because it's easier to staff the pools that way. We have college students and high school students, so it was easier instead of having a person work full day that just wasn't working out for us.
Okay.
Now, this is all a full-time and part-time status. Correct. No.
All right, you can proceed. Unless any other questions from council colleagues?
Okay, you guys got to take my voice a little bit longer. Department of Recreation and Youth Development, overview of divisions. Director Office provides support, supports the fiscal, administrative, transportation needs of the entire department. Grant management overseen by the Director's Office. Division of Enrichment, responsible for the direct programming that grows youth social, ethical, and emotional, physical, and cognitive competencies through engagement, employment, and professional development and civic engagement projects, assuring accessibility of all programs. Also responsible for the management, permitting, and coordination of the city's athletic fields, including the Armory, to promote responsible access to all community members. Recreation division is responsible for providing quality professional recreational facilities, including Pershing Pool, Pavonia, Johnson Pool, Pershing Community Center, and the Pershing Rink. Also responsibility for the management, permitting, and coordination of the city's pool, skating rink, including swim, skate classes, leagues, to promote responsibility and access to all community members. Our Division of Parks Maintenance is responsible for the round daily upkeep of all active and passive park areas, playgrounds, courts, splash pads, utility grass, athletic fields, as well as those recreational facilities managed by the department, like the field house, the pools, and the rink. Also supporting all cultural affair events in the parks, coordinating, supporting the Parks Coalition, identifying or performing improvements where feasible. So the next couple of pages are organizational charts. If you have any questions, let me know. But the first one is going to be your director's office.
I'm going to say, is there any decision as to who the next director is potentially going to be? The administration, I know it's another year, but are there plans to appoint someone as director?
I think that's you, the fiscal guys, they cannot answer that.
I mean,
BA is not here.
Can we have that sent to the BA's office? I mean, they're here standing in for them, so just if you could find out.
That's not a question for me, it's for them.
Yeah. Okay. It's the org chart. It has to do with the org chart.
That is true. So the org chart as it stands today, we have our regular org chart from there. We have our director's office. We have our divisions of park maintenance, the division of enrichment, and of course our division of recreation, which includes all the pools and the swim staff as well. Any questions on the org charts?
Is there any way to get a PDF copy or a PowerPoint copy of this, just because some of the font is tiny, even for my eyes? Just, thank you.
Keith, if you can just email it to myself and I'll forward it to all the council members.
Can we get that from all the departments, actually? That's just, good practice.
Okay. Not a problem.
Thank you.
We're going to go through a couple of our accomplishments this year. The team at the enrichment team, it was a big year for those guys.
Wait, Keith, let me ask you a question. Let's go back to your org chart.
Yeah, sure.
Is there any vacancies in any departments?
Are a couple of vacancies. We're looking at what you have for yours. I have for the division enrichment, we have 4, possibly 5 openings in part-time. And then for full-time, you have there's 4 for full-time for parks and go ahead.
Slow down,
Yeah.
okay?
Or part.
Take a deep breath, because you're going too fast. And there's you don't have to worry. We really on your side, okay?
Yeah.
So just take it easy and just let us know how many vacancies do you have?
Oh, that's for me.
Enrichment, is it full-time or part-time? And then we'll move on to the next. Go ahead.
And when you guys are speaking, you can take the mic off the stand, so it's easy to hand off to the next person.
So
Right, so
with enrichment, go ahead.
for Richmond, we have 4 part-time openings. And for parks, we have 4 full-time openings.
In aquatics, we're in the process of backfilling positions, so you will see a lot of DocuSigns have been coming through. So we're catching
On it,
aquatics. Yeah, we're backfilling positions that we had open.
backfill.
What happened to those positions? Did people leave? Like, okay, why?
College students, high school kids,
What are those positions? A lifeguard, I guess? Okay.
lifeguards, supervisors, laborers.
Can't get Keith to be a lifeguard?
I will if you
Just kidding.
we're on the record. Okay, so back to the slideshow. So our Department of Youth Development, the Enrichment Division, we served over 15,000 youth participants, engaged thousands of young participants across the diverse recreation enrichment programs. So this year we started something called our mobile recreation, which is an incredibly successful program. So basically it's a featured a van with stocked recreational games, sports equipment. We rolled it out at 4 different parks. It's been a huge success. And not only do our staff get involved, but is a lot of parent involvement now as well. We provide games and a whole bunch of other fun stuff for them. We also started our new cheerleading program that we launched this year. We have about 30 girls interested in that, primarily from the south side. Practices are held at Bethune Center, and our team proudly cheers on our Jets football team. We've collaborated with partnered with community organizations, the JC Library, to enhance programming for youth. Also, plans are underway to expand these offerings further, creating more engaging activities for the community. We start our youth fitness empowerment program, partnership with athletic, with AMT. It's athletics making progress together. We launched a new program at Pershing Field, combining mentorship and sports to promote personal growth and fitness. We pioneered esports for the first time this year, introduced the pilot esports programming, Mario Kart, Minecraft. We also competed in a few competitions. Summer fun camp success. We served over 200 kids daily at our summer camp located over at Pershing Field, provided a safe and engaging, enriching environment. We operated 3 free buses daily from south and the west side to ensure accessibility for all. We also expanded our volleyball program, which has been an enormous success this year. We pioneered new recreational programs, including we've got pickleball, rugby, cricket, catering to the diverse population around here. We set trends with breakdancing, started a breakdancing program before its Olympic debut, creating a trend and filling up classes before this Olympics came out, which we're kind of proud of. Also, our Jets football team, our Jets tackle football team. We had, when we wrote this up, we were heading to the championship, but the update is our junior Pee-wee, our Pee-wee and our JV won the championship, and that was actually held at Caven Point. Track and field, won gold, silver, and bronze medals at local statewide events across New Jersey. Our soccer has been our CIFA program. Teams are achieving outstanding results, including strong girls team representing the program with excellent. Our girls team is rocking it right now. Empower Her, this newly introduced initiative, is designed to inspire young girls to embrace self-care, explore entrepreneurship, and excel academically. Meeting 3 times a week, it offers hands-on activities, mentorship, and learning opportunities to support the growth and empowerment. This year, we also ran our, I'll get further into that, but the Girls Basketball Development League, newly introduced program, focused on the fundamentals of basketball, helping young girls decide that this is something that they want to do. They develop essential motor skills. Players will learn key skills as dribbling, passing, and shooting in a structured environment that ensures everyone has a chance to participate and grow for the love of the sport. Fun stuff, though, this year was our Summer Girls Basketball Tournament, which we held at Dickinson High School. Brought together 9 high schools, highly successful tournament. And I think Dickinson won. I might have to check that because it was a while ago. Our 21st annual Hamilton Park Summer League. This year's league was thrilling success, culminating in a victory by a Jersey City team taking home the championship. We had our JV basketball tournament over the summer, held at Bayside Park. We also introducing our, or not introducing, but keeping going our girls softball program. Continue our popular clinics, help them develop proper throwing, catching, running, hitting mechanics, along with skill development. Our tennis and boxing program are still thriving, and inclusive youth opportunities. In partnership with Whole Spectrum, we provide opportunities for youth with special needs, enjoy bowling, swimming, and other fun activities for both parents and the guardians. I'm going to move this over to Rosemary so she could read about the aquatics.
So aquatics had an amazing 2024. Just to touch on a few subjects, we trained 2,624 children in swim lessons. Not only did we cover swim lessons, but we covered water safety aspects and skills in and around the water. We expanded our offerings to 130 aquatic programs. This is 5 more than last year. We did an innovation program, which is called the pop-up swim lessons. So parents were complaining that we didn't have enough spots for the swim lessons. So we do pop-up swim lessons, which are free for residents. It provides a one-time class to kind of get the children out of the fear of being in the water. So true success for us. We have the Piranha Swim Team. We had 89 participants who got to compete against local teams throughout the county. We had the Jersey City Swim Championship, which was a novice swim meet. We had 90 children. The championship inspired youth to excel and foster in a competitive yet supportive environment. Lifeguarding. We certified 22 new lifeguards this year, all of which worked for us this summer. We enhanced lifeguard management for the supervisors. So we made 7 of our supervisor bath and pools get certified with the American Red Cross in lifeguard management, which improves surveillance and emergency response techniques. Mental health and first aid certification. 14 of our employees were equipped with the skills to identify and address mental health and substance use concerns, fostering a compassionate and supportive work environment. Team bonding and building activities. Multiple bonding sessions fostered a collaborative work culture. Special guests discussed critical topics such as drugs, alcohol, vaping. The added value to all of these events as our staff is faced with all of these on multiple occasions. We are represented in the state, so we get to send one of our employees to the New Jersey State Summit 2.0. We've participated in this now twice. So I was there last week representing Jersey City. It's an active representation statewide, where we are committed to upholding the high standards of the health and safety of aquatic facilities. We expand opportunities through partnerships. Our RYD Aquatics collaborated with the Jersey City Police, providing children from various organizations with a chance to learn and enjoy roller skating in a welcoming environment. We worked with Autism Speaks. Special sessions were tailored for children with autism, creating an inclusive and supportive space to promote physical activity and confidence. The Boys and Girls Club, partnering with this impactful organization, we offered skating opportunities that encourage fun, community connection, and the development of new skills for youth participants.
Does anyone have any questions regarding those 2 slides? I was going to ask regarding the swim lessons. So you said 2,624 people participated in the swim lessons, but I mean, I've heard feedback from the community that there's not enough swim lessons, but it sounds like you gave a lot of swim lessons out. So what is the market demand for swim lessons? Like, does it need to be multiple classes? Like, what age groups? Like, can you give us a little more like um, meat and potatoes as to like what could be done? I know it might not be in the budget, but like, what is the nice to have?
So that's where I was going. It requires more water safety instructors, which costs money, right? We follow the American Red Cross curriculum, which requires one instructor for 6 students. That is why we limit our class sizes. In addition to that, in order for me to count data for each one of those kids, it's 4 hours of instruction before they can actually master a class. They may not pass the class, but we meet our requirements to qualify them as completion of a class. So yes, it's very difficult. We do offer classes. We're dropping classes every 3 to 4 weeks. We're offering them weekdays, Monday to Friday. We're offering them Saturday and Sunday mornings. So what we did to, address this concern was do the pop-up classes so that some parents were getting some of the basic things that they needed in regards to water safety and prevention. Because I think that's where a lot of people were like, my kid is just afraid he won't put his face in the water. So that's why we have the pop-ups. It's not going to address the issue right now. We would need more employees, more water safety instructors, and more money.
Okay, you can continue.
So as you know, opening the rink, a total success story. After a year and a half of closure, we reopened the ice skating rink, transforming it into a space for the community. This major accomplishment was made possible through teamwork, strategic partnership, and dedicated efforts across various sectors, as well as the leadership of the Business Administrator's Office. Key highlights. For those of you who have not been able to attend, the installation of the new boilers with the assistance of DPW. We did some awesome painting repairs in the process of getting a mural at the ice rink as well. Critical equipment repairs, the chiller and compressor. As we know, we have an external chiller that is functioning and keeping us running at the rink through the partnership of Foley and Riley Mechanical. Electrical connections to the chiller with partnerships with the trade unions. Enhanced safety and functionality. We got new netting and board replacement through Becker Arena, which helped us keep the rink safe for not only the players, but also parents and spectators. We actually put a vendor to do our board cleaning to help us ensure that the boards were polished and inviting to our constituents. We also had to master a few things with the rink, some things that the city had never actually taken on. So aquatics had to learn how to drive the Zamboni. We had to send staff to get certified to actually do this, as no one in the city was certified to do so. We had to learn how to do chiller operations. We had to gain the on operating the chiller, knowing when to turn it off, how to do glycol samples, and understanding compressor levels. The next one, glycol system. We have to know what levels we have to be in when we have to put more glycol into the unit. We talked about Zamboni operation, ice making expertise. So we had to partner with the vendor and learn how to lay the ice and ensure that it was proper and safe and when it was ready for it to be used. We also had enhanced skating experiences. We were able to provide a fully stocked inventory of skates. So we have over 450 skates available to our residents. And for the record, on Saturday, we rented every skate out at our holiday skate. So there was not one left in inventory. A well-stocked inventory ensures the community members and all ages and skill levels that can enjoy the skating experience. RYD's aquatics team willingness to embrace these technical challenges and build a foundation of knowledge, highlights dedication, providing a top-tier skating experience for our community and our residents.
You're going to have another free admission session. I know the skates aren't free, but are you going to have, since it sounds like Saturday was super successful, will you have another one?
So we We usually do the grand opening that has a free admission, and we do the holiday skate. But yes, I'm in the works of doing maybe like a Valentine Day skate, you know, a winter wonderland thing. So yes, I'm working on a few other things that we could do.
Awesome. Any questions, colleagues? Okay.
With those who had to get trained in this equipment, they salary increase? Just curious.
No, my salary nor my supervisor's salaries increased.
Donna did say she wanted to drive the Zamboni full-time now. So for the next page, it's our, most of our advertisements, a whole bunch of pictures taken by Jen Brown. Then we're going to head over to the Department of Recreation Youth Development field usage page. Well, I'll just tell you right now, our field.
Bring the microphone closer.
That our fields get used, and they get used a lot. The Jersey City Department of Recreation successfully managed field usage for an unprecedented volume of organizations and programs in 2024, coordinating 110 organizations, 94 individual programs. The department ensured equitable access to athletic fields for a diverse array of sports and activities. The extensive collaboration allowed the department to cater to a broad demographic of youth, adults, and community groups, fostering inclusion and participation citywide. Through meticulous scheduling and resource allocation, the department effectively managed 25,287.73 total field usage during this year. The achievement highlights the department's ability to balance high demand while maintaining the quality of fields and ensuring seamless operations. Advanced planning, data-driven decisions, and ongoing communication with stakeholders minimize conflicts and maximized efficiency, benefiting all users and preserving the integrity of Jersey City's recreational facilities. This accomplishment not only underscores the department's commitment to community engagement, but also reinforces its role as a leader in recreation management. By providing structured opportunities for sports, recreation, the Jersey City Department of Recreation and Youth Development contribute to the physical, social, and emotional well-being of thousands of residents. The initiative stands as a testament to our department's dedication to enriching community life through accessibility and well-organized recreational opportunities. So again, there's 110 organizations and 94 individual ones. And we last year or the year before, we started our Facilitron. So people just go on, log on, pick the times that they're looking for, and then they get approved or not approved depending on how it's structured for them. This next page kind of shows you actually what Facilitron does, what options we have for our fields. And then this is the 2025, 2026 goals for enrichment. So some of you might know, but 2025 is going to be a big year getting ready for the FIFA World Cup. With FIFA World Cup coming to New York and New Jersey, we're placing a major emphasis on this global event. Our goal is to collaborate with the community partners to enhance local experiences and celebrate the world's biggest sport community. So you will see a lot of World Cup soccer and a lot of players around here. So we're hoping to take advantage of every moment of that, including watch parties, all the above.
Does the Department of Recreation have like a mascot? Because even the libraries, they have like Bigfoot as their mascot. I was wondering, in advance of this rollout, like, will the Department of Recreation have like a mascot or something?
Yeah. Off the record, no.
Great idea.
But is that in the works, or can we think about that?
That would be super fun.
With the
That'll give us a
promotional
little thing to give
materials
away for
and
people to remember. I haven't seen what FIFA's mascot. Usually they come out with a mascot every 4 years. So we'll kind of maybe play off of that one as well. But we do have a lot of great ideas going through. Also, we're going to
hold on. Councilman Solomon has a question.
Can you guys just say a little bit more about what the goals are of your work with the FIFA World Cup, and if there are other departments at this stage that you're sort of working on?
Yes, that's actually a very good question, Councilman. Yeah, we have already started talking to Cultural Affairs and a couple of the other council people who were at the League of Municipalities. They had a FIFA talk and everything, what everybody's getting ready to do. Some ideas were presented. They have not really started to push that yet. I think that's, in the next 3 or 4 months, that might be a big thing where they're coming in. But on a side note, yeah, we're thinking about doing a soccer tournament for New Jersey, for all the Jersey City teams to kind of like kick it off from there. But any department that wants to get involved with this, we are happy to take them. That would be great, especially you guys.
Is there any meeting set up?
They haven't
Would the
started yet.
departments know? I'm just, because you said if they want to get involved, how
Yeah.
would the departments know that they can get involved? Because there's meetings now.
For FIFA is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, those I think are more of transportation kind of stuff and, more details from there. But the fun stuff and the stuff where we're going to engage the youth, we haven't started talking about that with other departments. But again, except for cultural affairs and a couple council people. But yeah, we can get that on the board right away.
And then just going back to the facilities and the field use, what fields are in the highest demand right now?
Let's say, do you want to answer that?
Jump in.
I mean,
In the mic, please.
Probably right now, Caven, Persian, Metro. This is when the high school season start. Probably so.
And then for in each of those fields, it's I assume the soccer and baseball fields.
Caven, soccer, and baseball and football, but Metro is baseball. Persian is baseball.
Okay.
But we do use fields for youth soccer. We make the field an outfield.
Yep.
We're hopefully turfing up the field in Pershing. So fingers crossed.
and to piggyback on that, Berry Lane is used a lot, and they're always booked.
All right, you can continue with the 2025 goals.
We're also going to expand our mobile recreation success. I'm going to introduce mobile recreation to all different parks, increasing the access to recreational games, more sports equipment, explore partnerships to enhance programming, add unique offerings to the mobile recreation lineup, which includes the library. Grow youth programs, cheerleading, expand recruit efforts to involve more youth, more areas of the city. Girls Basketball Development League, we're going to keep on pushing that. Empower Her program, increase enrollment, also focus on entrepreneurship, academic success, and achievement. Girls softball clinics incorporate advanced training, which we're starting this winter, and host a end of season showcase game. Also, enhance our tennis program, add more sessions and secure an additional courts to meet the rising demand. Host a summer tournament, boxing program, launch advanced training workshops, and identify standout youth for regional competitions. Also expand community collaborations, strengthen partnerships with organizations like Whole Spectrum and the library to develop new inclusive educational activities. Expand signature events, build on success of standout events like the Hamilton Park Summer League, increasing participation with the JV basketball tournament and our girls basketball tournament as well. Also bringing on a soccer tournament, separate from the FIFA one we were talking about. Also our inclusive programming, expand opportunities for youth with special needs by introducing additional activities such as art workshops, sensory-friendly events, and accessible sports programs. Work with partners to develop year-round offers, including camps, outings, and leagues for all abilities. Our youth fitness and empowerment, we're going to increase enrollment in the youth fitness empowerment program and add more locations to reach more underserved areas, targeted zip codes, introduce leadership training sessions and certification opportunities to further youth development. I hand it over to Rosemary.
Hey, recreation aquatics goals. Increase the number of instructors to expand program offering and better serve residents. Strengthen the junior lifeguarding and lifeguarding program to develop a more skilled pool of summer candidates. Let me add that in this summit I just came from, everybody was short lifeguards. I am proud to say we have no shortage in Jersey City. We haven't had one, and we're going to continue that process with this, getting our junior lifeguards to become lifeguards trained here in Jersey City. We want to expand pop-up program success. We want to leverage the pop-up initiatives to reach more children citywide. ensuring accessibility to aquatic activities and water safety education. We want to grow the youth program, broaden and diversify the youth-focused offering to engage more participants and foster community involvement, strengthen collaboration with the American Red Cross, deepen partnerships to elevate safety training standards and offerings. Expand signature events. We want to enhance the Piranha Swim Team and the Jersey City Swim Championship to boost participation and visibility. Provide a shine to a spotlight on the figure skating program to attract greater community interest. Promote an inclusive programming, to develop tailored activities for individuals with diverse abilities, focusing on water safety and enjoyable aquatic activities to reduce the water-related fears. Introduce a family fitness opportunities. Launch an evening water fitness program that encourages families to exercise together, promoting health and bonding. Upgrade infrastructure and accessibility. We want to improve facilities, including Pavonia Pool, replace filters at the Lafayette Aquatic Center to ensure optimal functionality and user satisfaction. Complete the known repairs and improvements that are needed at Pershing, including replacing the aging benches in the pool area, additional filter, acid washing the pool, and the deck surfaces. We'd like to replace the commercial refrigerator at the Lafayette Pool to enhance the concession stand offerings.
Yes, it's James Jackson for maintenance.
We're looking at some goals. Got a new product for patchwork for small breaks in the safe service. Also, got Thomas McGovern, Virginia Gallagher, and the Edwards. We're getting that redone with the partnership and infrastructure to replace play equipment and surface. Also got a new pump at Enos Jones that hasn't worked in years to get your irrigation working for the season upcoming. And we're upgrading play surfaces at First Triangle, Stevens, La Pointe, Columbia, Persian Field, Lafayette, Splash Pad, Boom McGinnis Playground. And we're making sure that vendors at our 9 largest parks to continue the service they're doing this year.
Okay, for our next page is our budget changes. Donna, would you like to? Yeah, I'm gonna give this to you.
So as Keith had started, I know Lucinda spoke to some, and we are going to address any additional questions that may come from this budget as she has worked on this and fine-tuned it to the best operations for the 2025 year. So I think we'll work on this together we're looking at this and if there's anything that we need. So for the Division of Recreation, it looks like the change is $357,645.06. Okay, so for line item 101, we are requesting $831,505.81. For line item 102, we're requesting $716,753.50. For line item 103, requesting $44,000.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it possible, and you may not have it in front of you, is it possible to sort of highlight what the increase is for? So it's like in line item 1.01 for recreation, it's an increase in 84K. And my assumption is that's a new salary, but if you can highlight, if there's a way to have it to highlight what it is, that would be helpful on our end.
So this is something that we can send to you with the changes and the requests, so it's a better understanding as to what is being asked for each line item.
Danny, did you guys help them out or?
The numbers in the presentation don't match the
Okay.
budget workbook that we have, so we'll have to circle back with the department on specifics.
Numbers don't match, so he has to give it back. The numbers should match.
We'll provide updated figures to everyone so we can have a better understanding and we're all on the same page. Can you touch on that? Can you touch on?
Sean.
Yes.
Okay, office supplies, line item 201, $3,000. Line item 203, no change. Line item 206, $5,000. Line item 210, no request. Line item 212, $85,000. Line item 214, $83,005. Line item 215, $26,500. Line item 301, zero request. Line item 304, zero request. Line item 305, $500. Line item 306, $900. Line item 307, $10,000. Line item 308, zero request. Line item 309, $2,100. Line item 310, $203,000. Line item 312, $20,100. Line item 399, zero request.
Rosemary, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't think it's going to be helpful to go through each and every line item. Not to interrupt you or to tell you what to do. I'm an umpire when it comes to the council and the directors. But until you get that other sheet with showing what the changes are for, I wouldn't want you to waste your time going through every each and line item if the council doesn't know where the increases are for. Fair enough, council members?
Is there a reason for discrepancies between people of like similar positions over here? Like laborers in terms of, it seems like they started off the same in 2024, but then they didn't get the same bump in for the proposed 2025 budget. If you could look into that for me after.
Would it be a contract issue?
Are you talking about part-time laborers or?
It looks like some of them started off at 41K and then they've been bumped up to like 58 or 47 and this, but there's like discrepancies between them. So I'm just wondering,
Which division are you looking at?
I'm looking at is this Parks? Local 245.
There's some increases that will be a follow-up so that is a better understanding as to why those increases and bump ups were put for each position.
Okay. I open the floor to is your presentation done?
Our presentation has concluded.
Okay. The council,
Done?
if you want to, the floor is yours. We'll start with me, I guess.
This is for the council members and the Department of Parks and Recreation. Before I start with the list of ongoing problems, I want to ask for support for ABC Incorporated Kids After School Program at Marion Gardens. This 501c after-school program was founded about 10 years ago by former recreation employee Charles Manday Johnson. The program is free and serves out our at-risk youth in this area. They are asking to partner with the Jersey Department of Recreation and Youth Development and have submitted a proposal requesting $17,000 in funding. This would allow them to occupy space at Marion Gardens. We had a lot of problems in that neighborhood, and the kids deserve better. I would like to go on record and ask the city of Jersey City to grant the funding needed to help the kids in the Marion neighborhood, especially Marion Gardens. Please support ABC Incorporated Kids. Thank you. Now, as you all know, this year has been a horrendous year for Ward C and Ward D up in Pershing Field. We had the pool, we had the ice skating ring, we've had problems with the bathrooms being broken into, being destroyed. We need security cameras up there, CCTV cameras, and we need more security in that area there. We need a real running track, not the track that's there now. And also for I understand for almost 2 months now, the heating unit at the Veterans Hall has been broken. I don't know if it's been fixed in this last week or so, but a lot of people are complaining. We got to get it done. So, and these issues up in Persian Field got to stop. There's got to be more attention spent on Persian Field to correct a lot of these issues that are going on.
Would you like to respond in any way to the councilman's concerns?
It's not my concerns. It's concerns
I know. Well,
of
the
what's
ones you're
going to
raising.
be. And people are complaining like crazy because they're afraid to go into the park. The security is horrible. We've had a lot of instances up there in the last month or two. A lot of them are not even being reported to the police because people feel it's a waste of time.
Department, if you can.
For Councilman Bojano, we are in talks with ABC. So those are ongoing. We're talking to see what they have. I've seen the proposal, and we're working with them right now to see where we can go with that.
Yeah, well, Keith, these things got to move because, these problems have been going on. The issue with, especially with the bathroom, they broke the toilet paper things. It's a shame what's going on. And the security has to be changed up there because if this is going on, I don't know who's doing it, the kids, or whatever, but things have to change.
Can we, just off of his concerns, can we institute swipe access to the bathrooms and it's given to people that are using the bathrooms, like maybe the little leagues or people that are always there, like you start to roll it out on an as needed basis. I don't know if there's a way to look into that.
If we if we
Yeah.
do swipe access,
For all the parks.
it would only be accessible to those who have a permit to use that field, and it would restrict usage to the residents, like the people walking the track or the parents in the playground.
It could be given to parents too. I'm just saying that way you have a record of who's going into the bathrooms at a certain time, because if you absent that, you put a park attendant there. There's only one way to track who's using it and who's not using it, and it should be swipe access across the city. I mean, it's similar like a dorm or any facility that people use. Then you could probably do it through rec desk or something. They could apply for it some way, somehow. Just we got to figure something out, because the status quo, Director Jackson was cleaning stuff off the walls the other day with him and the staff. It takes how many staff members you pull them out from like servicing the parks to address a DEFCON level 1 situation in the park? Like they just trashed it, punched holes in the wall, graffiti, put poop everywhere. Okay, like we need a better like go forward basis. And I would humbly request you look at the swipe access or a park attendant across the city. And I know Councilman Solomon has been patiently waiting. So I'll give the floor to him.
We will look into all that. For you, Councilman.
And just on the restrooms, we got a number of emails around the restrooms at Enos Jones, the sort of Clemente Field. So I know it's similar challenges, right? Of toilet paper gets stolen, bathroom doors get destroyed. And, just I think kind of regular communication from your guys' department with us about how you're handling it and what your plans are. And, we recognize the challenges, and also want to make sure we have plans in place to ensure that the bathrooms are safe and clean and accessible. So that issue comes up a bunch. I did want to ask if on the swimming programs, we have any programs for students with autism, or if that is being planned.
Just to give a little bit of, the Red Cross does not break down any of the programming into like it's a special needs program. It actually forces us to mainstream everybody, right, and to curtail their programming so that they're not, put separate. So what we do is if we do have someone who has an IEP or something, we put them into our program. We can't just give them a one-on-one instruction. But yes, they are a part of our program. So what we're looking now, since I was a part of the state conference, to see if there is a vendor that can come and actually train our instructors into something that is maybe off of the Red Cross model and help us, train our staff to deal with this population a little better. It's just we are in a bind with the Red Cross. We have an agreement that we will teach their programming. So we're going to work it out this year and see what we can do in regards to the special.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to stay in touch with you as you're working through that process, but I appreciate you explaining that. And then, just to put in your radar, but we're doing the kind of repairs on 16th Street Park right now, but that should be reopening in the spring, maybe, ideally, maybe the summer. But obviously, once that's reopened, we'll have kind of the maintenance needs of that. So obviously, if that requires additional staff or efforts, it's just great to kind of know that now, so that once it reopens and we spend all this money to, basically turn it into a great new open space for the city, that we're able to then maintain it moving forward. So I just want to make sure that was on your radar. And I wanted to thank you guys also for just the work on the ice rink. Obviously, it was a lot that you had to do to get it open, and it was really great to see. It's great to hear that all the skates were rented and on the 14th, and that the community is really back and using it. And I've heard lots of appreciations from different members of the community. So I'll convey that over to you guys as well.
Just want to reckon how many parks we have in the city. I can't hear you.
79.
9. Do each park have a park attendant?
No.
Is there a plan for each park to have a park attendant? I'm just curious, because it seems like it has solved some of our issues with the bathrooms being destroyed. Because I know you guys come around and clean the parks every day. I'm conscious of that. But then soon as you guys leave, then it's the public is there. But if there's an attendant walking around, sometimes that deter trouble. It does. Is there any plan to make sure a park has a park attendant? And this way here, if there's a key fob, that's the person who should have it. This way you know who's going in the building. Because it seemed like we are building up the parks, but then people are coming destroying it. So that's double and triple work on you guys to be for real. So is there a way that we can incorporate a park attendant at 9 parks? You have 9 people. I mean, you have vacancies. I'm just trying to say, are we trying to rethink what we do? That's all. Because you work in double. You are. You clean it, they tearing. You clean it, they're tearing. But if there's somebody there and they see somebody with a uniform and they, patrol the area, pick up stuff as things come, it changes people's behavior.
If it's okay, can we talk about this?
Sure.
After I think this would be a great meeting with the council and rec department.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be.
Is there an app for the rec desk, or is it all online?
Is there say one more time?
Is there an app like an app on iPhone?
There is not yet. They are talking about it with Rec Desk, and I actually think it's going to be pretty quick with the turnaround, but they've just been bought out by a new company, so I'm just trying to see their direction they're going in. It's a decent, they do the job, but they're working on an app. I do know that.
Okay.
And the fields, I know there was always a challenge with us renting a different fields in Jersey City. So one time we had people coming from the outside wanting to rent our fields. So are all our fields assigned to Jersey City, sports? Or do we have outside organizations coming in trying to, rent our fields? Whether it's baseball, whatever.
Yeah, there's an order of the way things go when it comes to Rec Desk. So first is our schools, then it's recreation,
Okay.
nonprofit, and then organizations that could be outside or inside, but they're up here.
So how many outsiders we have renting, and are they paying? That's what I want to get to.
Let me find that out.
Yeah, find that out, because I think we got a lot of people here. And the truth, I don't know if we could afford to rent it out. I don't know. But if we could, I want to make sure that we are charging the right fee. Because if we start charging the right fees for outsiders, maybe some of the fee costs can cover a park attendant.
Disagree.
Just got to start figuring this out, because our city is growing and there's such a great demand. So we have to figure out how can we start at least coming covering some of these salaries because we need the people there, especially when it comes to recreation. You need supervision. I don't care. You need supervision, and we need to be trained. And earlier I said recreation need to be trained too, and de-escalation. Because I'm quite sure you get a lot of people that's upset, especially if their kid didn't win the soccer game.
Unfortunately, you are correct. And I'd love to have these conversations after this. That would be fantastic.
Right, because I think we have to move it forward in that way. Times has changed. We have to figure out a way how we can cover our costs, especially when everybody wants to come to Jersey City.
You want to be cognizant of time. We're at 3:00 and, respectful. Does anyone have any other questions before we adjourn?
Just Keith, just for the record, I believe I heard there's 79 parks, not just 9 parks. Is that correct?
79 parks.
79, okay.
Right.
Because I thought you said
Just for the record.
that's 80 employees.
All right, with that, I'm going to motion to adjourn.
Sean gets first.
You want more?
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn at 3 p.m. made by Councilperson Saleh. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President Waterman. All council members in attendance by acclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
We are out of here at 3 p.m. Thank you so much. Budget hearings will continue on Thursday at 10 a.m. Have a great night.